Alright. We are now recording in earnest.
In earnest?
Yes.
You know, I never met him. He's mentioned every once in a while, but
Yeah.
Guys, did you guys ever have, like, when you were in school, like, there's, like, a one-room schoolhouse that you guys went to, like, maybe once a year? My role-playing pilgrim name was Ernest.
Huh.
Yeah. I was Ernest Jefferson. The math whiz.
By the way, DM, which curse does Dante have?
It is a generic bestow curse.
Right, but there's actually, when you cast the spell, choose the nature of the curse from the following options, and there's 4.
Yep. I explained to you at the time that you roll at the beginning of your turn,
Oh, I see, okay.
and if you're below DC, you do nothing with your turn.
Gotcha, okay.
I call it the Curse of the Wandering Mind, but there's no real title for it.
Alright.
I am at 1 hit point, so it's a good thing that we just cleared out everything a month ago when we played this last.
Oh, did you clear out everything, Isaac?
I think so.
Ha ha ha.
Well, in that room. The DM laughs maniacally.
Alrighty, let's begin.
Little did you know? Okay, guys. So
We started with On Winter Falls, maybe.
yes. So I'm going to give you guys the options. We have a recap that is up to date. So we can. I definitely want to do that. We also have a cryptic that I don't know if everybody's either seen or read. So we can also do that if you guys would like. Otherwise, we can just get right into it.
I've seen. I don't know where my phone is right now, though, so I couldn't help read it.
Okay, it is pinned.
Oh.
In the D&D discussion chat.
I have no opinion.
No opinion?
No.
Alright.
Not on this,
hey,
I should say. On other things, most definitely.
I could, I would be glad to read, especially the,
I would love to read one of them.
Especially
I just
the,
don't know where my phone is.
Nick elected to read the cryptic? Okay, cool. Anybody else want to do the recap?
I shall read the recap.
Okay, so Nick does cryptic, Kyle does recap. So why don't we do the cryptic first? And let me get some cool music for it.
Is that the
One
one
sec.
that starts out chaos overshadowed?
Yeah.
Castle?
Yes.
Okay.
Don't read too far into it.
No.
Okay, go for it.
alright. Just before I start, I want to make sure it's Ka-e-un.
Wait, where?
Castle Kayun.
Oh,
Dramatic-
Kayun. Yeah, yeah.
Dramatic music is happening, babe. Don't ruin it. Come on.
Oh, hey!
Yeah,
music.
it's Kayun. Kayun.
Kayun.
Knock, knock.
Oh, yeah, he wants it into the watch together. You're gonna have to pause the music.
Yeah. No, I got you. Here we go. Alright.
He didn't realize there was a moment happening.
Okay, now
Yeah.
I am ready.
Actually, 1 second. I'm actually gonna get some different music for the cryptic. 1 second.
Excellent. No, this is perfect.
Alright, 1 second.
I would just like to make the point that my leg hurts.
I bet.
Well, you are
I'm
pretty low HP, so I'm sure. Okay.
Well, at least now that you went through surgery so that you can roleplay a hurt Dante even better.
Yeah.
That's a good
Nice
point.
job. Going the extra mile, Donnie.
Give inspiration dice to
Talk
Dante.
about method acting.
I'm considering it. Yeah, method acting.
That's dedication right there.
Dante took a death ray to the chest, so I did it in real life. Went to my local mad scientist.
Yes.
The only thing is Dante does have resistance to the death ray, so it's not like he can actually roleplay that in real life, though.
I need you to hit me with the death ray, but it needs to be like half power, okay?
Wasn't it like quarter power, actually? Because of the fact that he
Are
had
we ready for the
resistance and then-
cryptic?
No, maybe not.
Do we have music for cryptic?
Yeah, I was looking for a better one, but this will work fine. It's a little creepy. Alright, let's do it, guys.
I don't hear anything.
It's very low. I can hear it. It's a little
Ooh.
rumble.
It's just creepy. Go ahead.
Oh, there it is.
chaos overshadowed chaos overshadowed Castle Cayune. It wasn't as obvious to the others, but Oldemar was always able to see what they couldn't. Some days he missed the vibrant colors that only true eyesight could express. Perhaps, he mused, it would have been better to have never seen anything at all. But today was not one of those days. He suspected that it was a dull and grim landscape in the foothills of the Stone March, but a more sullen sight still was the black-clad line of creatures making their way, slowly shambling towards the castle. From his vantage point atop the high ramparts of the castle, he could feel the wind howling on his face. Or was that perhaps the otherworldly sounds of the creatures? You knew they were black, because that was what the other mages had told him, but even if they hadn't, there was simply no other color they could have been. Black was the one color he could see, and represented everything that would become of this world should those creatures and their masters succeed. Soon, very soon, the next wave would be upon them, and Oldemar did not think that the disparate conglomeration of mages and refugees had it in them to fend off another horde. Oldemar had seen the outcome should circumstances remain unchanged. There were no survivors. For beyond the simple shambling lines of undead, there was something far more insidious, a creeping chaos. Something had begun to stir deep within the bounds of the earth. Servants of darkness had been aroused from their long dormancy, and over it all an eye that seemed to Oldemar to be the scale of an ocean in the sky, watching on with alien patience. Oldemar? He turned towards the sound, a voice that was once cheery beyond belief and full of childlike glee. Yes, Oriel. She had never once used his real name before. Always one of her many ill-suited nicknames like Ghost Eyes or Old Man. Oh, how he desired to hear them now, here, at the end of things. It's time, she said in a voice that bespoke the years underlying the childlike tone. She took his hand and gently led him down the stairs, to their doom, into the black.
Perfect timing on that music.
Maybe mildly.
Thank you.
Alright,
Now-
guys.
Do we actually know where Castle Cayune is?
You do not know where Castle Cayune is.
I
It
mean,
says
you
it's
can
in
look at the map
Stone
and
March.
find the Stone March.
Stone March is in the northeast
North-
corner,
Westerly,
where the mages-
actually.
or northwest. Yeah, it's where I'm directionally retarded, and it's right up there where the Mages Guild is.
Oh, I see. Yep.
Yeah, so the foothills of the Stone March would be kind of like, actually kind of close-ish to Craghorn.
So they're marching across the continent very slowly.
Yes.
Very, very slow.
They have set up their stronghold in the mountains.
Slowly, but not stopping.
Not stoppingly is appropriate, yes.
Not stoppingly.
Not stopping, yes.
No, just saying that there's an advantage of having undead march. I mean, they're slow, sure, but they don't have to stop for break.
Yeah,
Undead or constructs, both are.
Why do I feel a sense of awe coming from you? I hear Dante becoming a necromancer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you just got to keep them focused on the task at hand. Kind of
Hey,
like squirrels, you know.
there would definitely be some thematic irony if you started kind of becoming more like Vecna.
Ooh.
Dabbling in undeath.
Ultimately
Alright.
turning on Ina.
Oh, baby. All right, so next time. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and play the music. Kyle, if you're ready, man.
So, do you want this to be serious or silly?
A little more serious would do well, I think. Here. This is this
Well, I
is.
mean, I was gonna do that, radio announcer voice. I
I
was
got
thinking
you.
of doing that.
Well, I would prefer a little bit more serious for this one in particular. The others
Of course.
are fine, but it's whatever you want to do, man. It's all right.
Oh, do you remember what I mentioned a while back, Austin,
What's that?
about what I wanted to do if we ever got to play again?
You had some roleplay lined up, I think.
A lot of roleplay lined up.
Cool. Well, I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
All right.
The Watcher from beyond has been felled. The eye of the left eye, the head of the left eye cut off. A traitor exposed, and the fate of the Arch-Paladin made clear, but not without sacrifices. The noble cleric of the sun, now not but an ashen pile spread to the wind, gave the brilliant flame that was his life so that others might succeed. But it was not in vain, for after a tumultuous struggle, the now battle-hardened contingency finds victory upon a mountain of corpses, the pinnacle of which sits the great purple eye boiled in its socket. An insidious menace that was the downfall of contingencies prior, and almost proved to be this one's undoing. But all of this is in the past now, as revelations are made, and victory is so close they can almost smell it. A little more than a day remains to this year, and but a few precious tasks remain before they can finally rest. A breath, finally, of an air that does not reek of inevitable doom, but the faint smell of hope. These are the final hours of a year that may prove to be the last. This endeavor is not over yet. Find out what will happen this time.
All right. Nice job, Kyle.
Nice!
Thank you.
Again with the timing.
Yeah.
Perfect timing again. Man, Austin, you're just setting these up for success, aren't you?
The fates will that we play.
See, too many things are lining up way too easily. I'm very nervous.
And
We're
now
all
the
taking
conclusion
it
is
as a
this
good
all.
sign. You're just like, no, we're gonna die.
Something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a good omen.
Psych, Ian is a lich.
Ah!
Well,
All along. All
Oh.
along.
Austin, how could you betray us?
all along.
Austin, how could Ina betray us?
How good.
For some reason, I see Ina as like just female version of Austin.
Have
We're
mercy.
escorting the prince across all of Tamriel.
All right. We'll pick up exactly where we left off.
Which is
ashen remains of the fight with Tizanus, the Beholder. There is a lot of white noise coming from Isaac. He's getting excited. I can tell. He's just, like breathing intensifies. Oh.
I thought I was muted.
no. That's pretty funny though. Okay, so where's my character? Hello, Icon?
Oh, your character died along with
No,
our
I'm right there.
paladin.
I found. No, shut up. I found it. Okay, so I
If
was
only.
over
You all
here.
Yes, you all kind of stand somewhat spread out. Edgearch paralyzed on the fringe of the battle. Dante's hand still smoking from the barrage of fiery projectiles he sent out to finish off the Beholder. Katralgrim, ochred blood still covering your gauntlets.
And I wake
Adamir-
up from the damage from the fall, by the way.
Yeah, Adamir just barely hanging in there. Elfin blood kind of oozing from various cuts, bruises, orifices in your body. You're just barely hanging in there. Charred corpses of cultists and Nestor Polonius laying about you. And the magical circle seemingly halted whatever strange process they were trying to inflict upon it.
And then you have Jaji, who still has her spirit lit up, where there's apparently 30 feet of light just glowing from her, and her wings are spread out, keeping her about 10 feet in the air. At this point, I would assume that this is where Tizanus had just hit the ground. Edgearch is still frozen, you can see in her peripheral, but Katralgrim has hit the ground from where he had been knocked asleep by one of the eye beams. And she's probably gonna go down to where he is and give him a helping hand.
Katrarum begrudgingly takes the hand.
And she takes off her helmet because she's not able to see very well because it's covered in ink. And she's gonna look at Katrogum and say, "You're the fastest out of any of us in this group. Can you please escort Ina back into this chamber where we know she will be safer?" And then she's going to float with her wings over towards Edgeart, see if he's okay, because last she saw he had been motionless through the entire battle, and she's kind of imagining the worst.
Katrarum will grind his teeth a little bit before nodding at her before she runs off and heads out of the room.
She flies off because she has wings now. Walking is too much, now it's too slow.
Alright. Katrogum walks off towards the door. Well, Adraje tends to Edgearch. Dante and Adamir kind of standing side by side, panting. Katrogum, as you approach the door, you realize that, shockingly, through the lack of light and through the heat of battle, the door has closed. Strange arcane etchings kind of seethe across the surface of the marble two-faced door.
What do I need to roll for Edgearch? Is he still paralyzed?
Yes, he is still paralyzed. Go ahead and make a medicine check, please.
I do have a spell of minor restoration that I can use on him, or lesser restoration. And it can take away his paralyzed. Here, let me post it for you. Oop.
Okay. Well, it's up to you, whether to use that or not.
Okay, well, I guess I'll go ahead and roll the medicine. Let's see, public, normal. A 19?
Yeah. And so, Draji kind of does a bit of physical therapy to Edric. He kind of bend his arms and his legs and try to remove some of the strange magical atrophy. And Edric, I want you to go ahead and make yourself a Constitution save with advantage because Draji's helping you out here. Yes, the 18 definitely succeeds. Kind of the bending and your natural constitutive abilities finally kind of just... It's almost like you were aware of everything that was happening, you just couldn't move. And suddenly, a breath kind of comes to your chest. You were able to breathe before, just not any kind of satisfying amount of breath. But now you just... Drudge, you see his chest rise... the hat kind of falling off on the floor next to him.
I pick it up and I give it back to him.
Thank you, my dear. The hat placed on his head. You never heard the hat actually speak, and it's a little bit startling.
That's starting to sound like old Rock over there.
Yeah.
Oh, never heard of a talking hat?
No. But with Hedrick, I would imagine that he has plenty of interesting items in his arsenal.
Yeah, I'm the best one.
Yes, you are. Blink, blink.
Is it weird that I think Drock would actually wear an enchanted talking hat?
Alright, Edric, you feel the familiar weight of Akinzel's Hat of Final Thoughts upon your head. The familiar psychic tether filling your consciousness, and the paralysis wearing away. You kind of awaken to this field of carnage, smoking zombie corpses. The beholder that paralyzed you and killed another member of your party, its eyeball smoldering in its socket, some of its eye stalks totally missing, bits of its carapace just oozing some kind of ochre strange fluid and blood everywhere.
Edgearch will turn to Draji and say, "Yes, thank you, Draji. I'm just so sorry." And he'll get to his feet, and while whatever else happens, the first thing he'll choose to do is walk sullenly over to the corpse of the beholder, stare at it for a second, and then just give it a half-hearted kick.
Draji is actually probably going to take off before he has time to hobble over there, since he's still probably kind of working through the atrophy. She is moving very quickly. She's going to go to where these two are, and remembering that Edamir had been at death's door before, she's going to give him, let's see, 2 pings of her Aura of Vitality. Let's see, I'm going to roll...
Does that little skull thing... Ooh,
So
Does
you
that-
get 8 health,
nice.
and then and then she's gonna look at you, and how much health is that gonna give back? Like, at what hit point level are you?
I'm at
Bloody.
9.
You're at 9. Okay, so she's gonna do some lay on hands on you. She's gonna give you 10 points of lay on hands.
Alright.
While Draji's there, Dante is going to kind of, through very labored breathing, he'll say, "Ina, is she here?"
I sent Katralgrim to go and retrieve her. He hasn't said anything.
Dante will just kind of nod and then kind of slump into the wall a little.
At this point, Katralgrim will have been studying the door at the very least, see if there's anything he can recognize on it.
I wanna loot Nestor Polonus' corpse.
Okay.
I
you-
can't
will
just
note
delete
that this
everything.
is the first time you've seen her in her ASMR form.
Ah.
You will know. She is
Yeah.
glowing, and she
I'm
does
very
have
obviously
large
glowing.
wings.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Whatever.
I
She
will-
floats. She floats down on kind of like wings. They're like ethereal or made of light,
Ah.
and heals you, Edamir. And you now see her features. Very fair, a bit smaller and diminutive than you thought. Honestly, ASMR are very fair folk, but strikingly beautiful. What are your hair is red, right? I assume.
It is like copper wires.
Cool. Okay.
Kind of like her hair.
Exactly like my hair.
And wait, as Adamir goes and starts looting corpses, Dante is going to cough and then kind of throw a rock at him or something and point with his staff towards the circle and say, "No, Adamir, the circle."
Oh, see, I thought we pulled those out last session. My bad.
No,
Yes,
you,
I would-
it was
I
the
would
end of
scramble to
session. Didn't
go
manage
rip
to
out the
couple,
stakes.
And Draji is giving back 11 points of hit points back to Dante.
No,
Thank you.
what's up with the door, by the way? It's closed. It's locked. What?
You could holler for a mage.
I'm working on that.
Edgeark is right there.
I'm asking the dungeon master.
Yes. Do you have proficiency in Arcana?
I do not, sir.
Okay. You kind of look at the runes and you immediately realize that the scope and complexity are way above your pay grade. You don't know what these are.
He turns around and just yells into the cavern. I need a mage at the door!
Monk! I need a monk!
I need healing.
Edgeark, you just finished kicking the beholder. One of the eye stalks kind of falls limply when you jostle it, and then you hear Katralgrim calling out over the cavern.
Edgerk's gonna mumble to himself, not too quietly. Well, I can still be of some use. I head to the door.
Okay.
Is there
All
any-
right,
do you mean
what have we
roll
got
to
here?
Pull out the stakes, by the way.
Yes, you walk up. Let me give you a little description here. So these stakes are black as night, and you can see from where they enter the seemingly kind of soily stone. There appears to be leaking out some kind of blackish substance that's kind of running across, kind of following the already present runes and circles present in the magical circle. And just it leaks out almost like that liquidy substance you guys saw back in the room with Leandra's statue. But yeah, I want you to go ahead and roll just an athletics check to see if you can remove the stake.
9.
Okay. You reach down and you're lifting with your legs, just like your parents taught you. And budges ever so slightly, but you realize the stake is actually much larger than you thought it was, and it's really dug deep into the dirt, the dirt and the stone.
Alright, I'm gonna say, Draji, are you, can I get some help over here, maybe? Are you
Yes.
healing for now?
I don't have too much longer to keep this form. I really need to go check on Bane.
Okay, maybe send someone down to help me. I don't want to leave this thing open for too long, but
I can do it. I'll do it quickly.
Okay, yeah.
So I just need to roll strength.
Athletics, he said.
Yeah, just athletics.
Boop. And click and click. And that's an 11. Wow. Apparently, my gloves are still very slick from the ichor.
Yeah, you reach down, kind of grab it, slips a little bit, and something you know as soon as you touch the python, kind of ingrained into the ground, your form flickers and the wings vanish and your holy aura dissipates. This thing just silenced your magic.
Does it look the same as the rock that Dante gave to me that made the observer mad?
It is black as night. You'd have to see the rock again, but there's definitely a correlation there you make in your mind.
In this day and time, holding that rock was probably only just a few hours.
Dante, well, if Dante sees Draji lose her form, he'll weakly say, "Yes, it's silencing stone."
She's just gonna turn her head and nod and try one more time.
Can I help her with it?
Yes, you'll be getting advantage on your athletics. Yep, absolutely.
Or you might want to give me...
24.
Okay.
Yep, you grab it, you kind of wipe off your gauntlets first, and then you grab it with both hands, kneel down, and just rip it out of the ground. When you do, bits of liquid just like kind of spew out of the end, all over the place, and you kind of toss it to the side. The thing was 4 feet long. The majority of it was in the ground.
Does the circle do anything in particular when the silencing stone has been pulled out of it?
Yes. The part of the circle that was being affected by the python kind of shimmers ever so lightly. The glow kind of like perks up a little bit. But there's still a certain amount of this strange liquid still in the area from where the python was injected.
The others, pull them out.
Okay.
Dante, at this point, will start trying to weakly get to his feet.
Well, at this point, Draji's gonna notice his demeanor being weak, even though she just gave him 21 points of health back. So, can she see if he's been cursed?
Yeah, there's, well, actually, you're gonna have to... You could do an insight check just to see if something's up, but some kind of feature would actually be necessary in order to see if he's cursed. And I'll actually be right back, you guys. Somebody needs my attention.
16, whenever you come back. I figured seeing if he was cursed would be like a religion check or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that would be. I can see that being a religion check.
It wouldn't happen to be paralyzed, would it? Or would you rather the condition?
No, the condition is literally cursed.
Okay.
Because of the
It's
fact that he had
cursed.
bestow curse cast on him. At
Gotcha.
who knows what level.
Celeste restoration wouldn't work.
No,
No.
that's restoration will not work. You need to remove
I
curse
have
spell.
a remove curse spell, but I don't have any more spell slots available. That's why I have like a line of roleplay set, because I'm hoping I can a prayer out to Bahamut whenever Austin comes back. if he approves of my 16.
This music, though.
Really? It's making my
Edgearch,
shoulder
the
shake.
door's shut.
What was that?
Hey, Edgearch, the door's shut.
Yeah, I believe what you shouted was, I need an mage at the door, right?
That's exactly what I said.
I need a mark.
So, when Edgearch sees the door is shut, he's probably going to enter a little bit more of panic mode.
The way
Oh,
is
no.
shut. And only
Door shut?
the dead
What?
may
Huh?
enter.
What is that from? I know that from somewhere.
Because the dead own it. Or something like that. I don't know the actual. The way is shut.
Okay, I'm back. I just heard the way is shut, and that is perfectly accurate.
I'm trying to figure out what that's from. I've heard that before.
You
Lord
watch
of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings and you don't.
Ah, yes.
Next
that's-
time
yeah.
I see you, I'm drop kicking you into the
That's,
concrete.
I
Yeah, the-
totally deserve that. Yes. I
The
would
oath,
be
yeah, the
disappointed
oath,
if you don't.
the Oathbreaker Lord. Man.
Oh man,
Yes.
I call myself a nerd.
Right before a sea
I'm
of
ashamed
skulls,
to know you.
avalanches.
Shame.
Alright, so we're gonna go to Edgearch and Katralgrim real fast. Edgearch, you approach the doors.
Upon
However-
seeing that the door is shut, Edgearch
Yeah.
is going to enter a little bit more panic mode.
Okay.
Alright, what's going on here?
Can I see his panic?
Yeah, you see his expression slowly like growing a little bit more panicked. What's your passive insight? You can see his chest starting to rise and fall a little bit more quickly.
Give me a second.
It'd be 10 plus whatever you have in your thingy.
17.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You definitely notice that Edgearch is beginning to lose it a little bit.
Do you still
Katralgrim
set
will...
your wind element on the other side of the wall? You left it behind where Ina was.
You know, I was actually about to ask Austin if he remember. I need to look it up again because I don't remember.
The paralysis
rules about
condition
communicating.
makes you incapacitated, which means you can't use you lose concentration. No. You don't lose
So
concentration.
you wouldn't have it anymore.
Oh, so they both dissipated. Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Yes. Your elemental spell would have ended.
Poof.
Poof.
Ina just sees the doors close magically, and then suddenly the air elemental just wisps away into
Can't
the air.
sense it anymore.
Lots and lots of panic. We
Yeah,
need
Katralgrim moves up to Edgearch and lays a hand on his comforting hand on his shoulder and says, "We will be all right. We just need to get through the door."
All right. I'm gonna take a look at the store. What do I see, DM? Anything I can recognize?
Yes. Go ahead and do an Arcana check, please.
And please tell me you have proficiency in Arcana.
Oh yeah.
Good.
I mean, I'm a wizard. I would hope I do.
So a wizard doesn't always have to have.
Yeah. So you take the time that the party did not allow you to earlier, and you find that if you were to try and open these doors, there is a definite probability that some kind of hostile spell will be fired at the person trying to open the door. You're not exactly sure the nature. That's above the scope of a common Arcana check, but you definitely know that.
Your pay grade isn't high enough to know.
No, this is his pay grade. He has to go to the next division over in order to get more.
All right.
For whatever reason, this didn't fire earlier when your elemental opened the door.
Well, we don't have that anymore. Alright, I convey this information to Katralgrim. If we open this door, very likely that a hostile spell will be activated. For some reason we were able to get around this earlier when we used my elementals to open the door, but that's no longer an option.
There isn't a way you could summon them again.
I mean, it would take a while. as it did before, but I could. I don't know. Do you think it's worth it? We need to get to the other side. Oh wait. Yeah, it would take a short while.
Maybe there's some other way you can dispel the trap, like a dispel magic.
To be honest, Edgark is worried enough that Enos on the other side of the door that he kind of just wants to activate his Ring of Automatic Shield and go for it. Edgark says, Control Room, you ready to take a risk with me? We can try to open this door.
He looks between you and the door and then back to you and then says, "You're gonna try and open it."
I mean,
Would that be wise in your current condition?
He didn't take a whole lot of damage in that fight.
it's old man Edgark's gonna roll his shoulders and he's gonna say, I'll be fine.
Well, he was paralyzed and he's still kind of walking it off. Is what he's going.
But his ability to tank hinder.
If someone's saying something, they're breaking out
In
really
that
bad.
entire
Control room nods before turning back to the door. And is there a door handle or is it just like a push door?
So it was barred from the other side, so it would be pulled.
Alright. Edgark's going to... Actually, Edgark's going to take 1 second, go over spells in his mind, see if there's anything useful he could use.
When we first started, I was so excited to start finally. I forgot to give these 2 rolls of vitality to
Sorry, it'll be push. Never mind. Yeah. Vitality.
Yeah, he gets 8 plus 7.
Okay, I'll allow it.
Alright, I'm at 45 HP now.
Alright,
Control.
Okay, so you guys gonna try to touch
push?
it?
Push
Yeah,
it.
it's push.
Okay. Edgark's going to activate his Ring of Automatic Shield and put his hand on the door, getting ready to put.
Okay, a very slight golden glow emanates from the ring as it prepares to shield you from whatever comes your way. You fling yourself into the door, and
Control flings himself into the opposite door at the same time, bracing himself for
at the same time. Okay, both of you make dex saves.
Whoops. Let's see.
Hey,
30.
and I take no damage because I have evasion.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh.
When you both fling yourself into the door, the runes kind of ignite and turn pink for a second, and then a massive kind of explosion of pinkish smoke oozes out. And I need both of you to be making. No, sorry, not Control. He manages to like jerk to the side. But Edric, I want you to make a charisma save, please.
Alright, this is not going to be something against my AC, unfortunately, huh?
So this is the Beholder's perfume, huh?
Yeah.
That sounds
trying to
really
charm.
gross.
Charm save.
Which one was it again? I'm sorry.
Charisma.
Yeah, alright.
Charisma.
Yeah.
Control got me to roll 1, 2.
No, he didn't because he was
I
Oh,
take
you.
my way out of that one.
Okay, you dodged
Jack
it.
be nimble, Jack be quick.
Control be nimble, Control be quick.
Alright, now what?
Austin.
Control evade the pinkish beholder perfume.
You. It's so gross to think about.
You guys both suddenly look up and realize it says Belks on the door.
Austin.
He probably
he's
had
dead.
his. He's probably been summoned. Quick, we need to have an Austin summoning circle.
Yeah.
We need to have the Austin summoning circle.
No,
we
man,
can't
we don't
hear
hear you.
We need the Austin summoning circle right next to the Donnie summoning circle.
Yeah.
No, we
What all
can't
would
hear
be
you.
on the Austin summoning circle?
Lizards.
Hey.
Yeah.
Lizards.
There you
Lots
are.
of
Okay.
lizards.
Definitely lizards, or at least
Yeah,
lizards.
so for some reason my mic just stopped working for literally no reason. Okay. Okay, guys, yeah, so Katralgrim and Edric, you guys both smash into the door. Katralgrim, you're fast enough that you just sprint through, and the runes ignite just a second late for you. However, Edric is a little bit slow once he hits his door. The door is very heavy. And so when you ram into it, the gas fills the air, everything you see is pink. It fills your nose and your mind. For a second, you just the sense of nostalgia and rightness. Like nothing is wrong. Everything is going as it should. There's no conflict in the world. Everything is right. And then just the sense of alarm and this objective of we need to find where Ina is, and you're concerned for her, and you manage to shake it off, and you run through the smoke. You guys are both on the other side.
So
You have
Nick,
successfully
apparently
evaded-
Nick's panic just like helped him through the door.
You have successfully evaded the hippie gas.
Yes.
All right.
And you run through the door, and you actually do see Ina kind of peeking out from behind the pillar over here. It's like, oh, I was kind of concerned when the door closed.
I imagine so, and probably more so when my friend disappeared as well.
Yeah, a little bit. Are you guys all right?
We're fine. Just
Katralgrim
tired.
like rolls his shoulder from impacting the door, but he nods.
A few cracks on
I'm-
his shoulder.
I am intact except for my pride. It was quite a fight, though.
Quite a
Unfortunately,
fight from what I could see.
it was quite a fight from what I can see. Yeah. Anyways, we need to get you back to the rest of the party. We're safer together, after all.
She nods, falls behind.
Is the door still open?
Yeah, it's open now, and the gas is beginning to dissipate.
Alright, we wait for the gas to... I guess we'd wait for the gas to fully dissipate.
Yep. It'll be a few seconds, and we'll go back to the rest of the game.
I rolled a 16 on my insight before we went back to them. I was
Okay,
checking.
6 on your side. Yeah. So, you know something's off. Dante will begin to say something, and then he'll stop for a few seconds, and then he'll start again like nothing happened. Like there's some kind of mental block, and it smells of a curse.
Smelly smell that smells.
I'm just gonna be
Smelly.
trying to pull these stakes out of the ground the entire time.
Yep. Athletics check. This one has been removed.
Oh, I thought it was this one that was removed, the one that I went to.
Oh,
I
yeah,
feel
we can do that one.
already... Well, okay, fine. Either way, I thought one of them had already. Good grief! I thought one of them had already been dislodged last session, but I guess not.
Yeah.
Dislodged but not removed.
One of them was weak, because that's where Adamir was first.
Ah,
Yeah. I
that
actually think it's this one. Yeah. So you managed to kind of after a lot of effort, you managed to yank this one out. More of that strange black substance spews out of the end. It actually kind of coats your trousers before you toss it away.
I'm gonna prestidigitate it away.
Yeah. It doesn't work because it's magic.
Oh, okay.
And the black stuff just absorbs magic.
You use your prestidigitation, and it just feels like it duds, and just nothing happens.
Huh. Good to know. So yeah, come over to the final one.
Final one's up here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought that's where we were originally.
That's what you get for not actually clicking onto the stair, onto the...
Draji, Dante, what are you doing?
Okay, so after seeing that he has a curse on him, she is far too weak magically to be able to dispel it. So she is going to kneel down and say a prayer to Bahamut.
All right.
Okay.
Do
And
a
this is
religion check.
a religion check, okay.
Yes, please.
Because she is going to ask for more strength from his behalf. She's going to thank him. She's going to say, "My Lord Bahamut, thank you for giving me the strength to help defeat the Beholder before it could do any more harm. And please continue to watch over us and give us the strength to overcome any obstacles Vecna may have been putting before us. And allow me one last burst of strength to aid my friends here."
Okay. Yeah.
Can I get advantage
This
since I had roleplay?
No, roleplay is required for any kind of result in this context. So go ahead and roll religion.
Okay. I was trying. Oh,
Okay.
Good roll anyway.
Yes. You kneel down, and for a second, everybody else who can see Draji, you guys see this strange kind of cold light. And you guys realize that there's actually a crevice far, far above that is actually allowing light into the chamber, and it seems to flare for just a second. Just this kind of silvery, strange, pure light fills the chamber. And Draji, you'll be getting a third level spell slot back, and this many temporary hit points.
this many. Thank you.
That many.
You get 5 temporary hit points, and a third level spell slot.
Bahamut's like, should I give her a D8 or a D6?
He's just looking at a set of dice in his hand. He's just like,
He's scratching his chin.
you know what? Why not just roll all of them?
Alright, and then she's going to shed one single tear of pure joy and run up to Dante, and then cast a remove curse on him.
Alright. Filled with this energy that just kind of appeared as soon as she finished praying. She touches you, Dante, and it feels like a fog in your mind has been lifted. All shadowy remains of the curse are dispelled. You're no longer cursed. Congratulations.
Yay.
Dante is gonna kind of look around just a minute in a little bit of confusion, and then it's gonna kind of be like everything hits him, and then he's gonna get up and nod towards Draw.
And then she's gonna nod back and then run over back to the pike that poor Adamir, he's been working so hard.
Well, I got a 17 that time.
You rolled 17 that time.
Yeah, as you run over, Adamir is just like, he just kind of grips it, and it begins to be removed, and bits of the strange ichor substance begins to kind of like flow out of the hole in the ground, and then he rips it out of the ground and tosses it to the side. And about this time, Edgar, Katrugum, and Ina walk into the room.
What about that one? Did we ever decide what was happening with this one?
Yeah, that's removed. So all 3 of them
Okay.
are missing at this point.
Okay.
Alright, what's the circle doing?
Yeah.
Alright. When you remove the final Python, the arcane energies begin to flare up. And the tree above you guys, the massive, sprawling, you think maybe an oak? You're not sure. You've never seen this kind of tree before, but it kind of looks that way. But it's covered in this blackish substance. It begins to have little thin cracks in it. Like spider webs of kind of goldish energy just begins to work its way up the trunk and the branches. And this high-pitched kind of mana screeching sound just fills the cavern as this massive amount of mana just flows through the cavern. Everybody who's proficient in Arcana notices this.
Hey, I
And-
noticed this.
Yeah, and you guys see
Dante
it as you walk in. The tree on the far end of the cavern is illuminated, and just this massive wave of arcane energy, and then all of the black mineral and coating on the tree just explodes outward in just an ashen cloud of black dust.
Hey, I don't notice this.
You all see
Standing 5 feet away, but I'm not proficient in Arcana, so I don't notice.
you guys all see the light show, but those of you who are proficient in Arcana know that the raw amount of mana being thrown around right now is insane.
Man.
And with that, the crevice above that was shedding just a tiny bit of light before kind of spews forth the light that you would expect from an afternoon crevice. And it kind of illuminates the whole cavern, actually. And you guys all begin to just realize the majesty of this tree. It appears to be golden barked, with trees that appear to be bronze. But it's like a purplish kind of bronze. It's really interesting, and it's just a really incredible esoteric sight as the light kind of comes down and cooks away the last of the ichor on the arcane circle.
You see that tree, Edric? That's a nice tree.
Yeah, that's
I'm not
a treat.
proficient in mana. Is there any sort of religion thing that I would know?
Yeah, you can make a religion check. I will also let you make a history check if you prefer.
Dante's gonna walk up behind Draji as she's thinking and tap on her shoulder, and he'll say, I think your scrying orb should work now.
I really hope so, because we need some truth around here.
I'm gonna go back to looting Polonus and just hope they're gonna clue me in when they see fit, seeing as no one ever tells me anything.
Actually, Dante's gonna look over. Is Nestor Polonius's staff laying around anywhere?
Yes.
Dante's gonna go
you
after
see it
that.
getting picked up by Adamir as soon as you turn around.
I'm gonna be like grabbing it, Dante comes, wait, oh.
Yeah, you guys are both carefully searching through Polonius's corpse, and you encounter the strange staff with the eye atop. The strange serpentine eye has dilated, and the orb that kind of contains the eye is almost entirely black, with just this tiny little slit where the pupil is.
Draji's gonna see them looking at Nestor, and she's just gonna shake her head over the disappointment that Nestor is in her eyes, and then use a flap of her wings to get her over the ledge, and then she's desperately needing to check on Bane.
At this point, Kajargan will have found him and started tending to him, hopefully.
Do I need to make like an investigation check or something to loot the corpse?
Draji, I hate to burst your bubble, but I think your wings are gone at this point.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, okay, well then she will casually climb up the ladder.
Mm-hmm. That's alright.
Dante will tell Adam here. Check his body for any useful information or effects. But I'd like to take the staff if you don't mind.
Ina steps up to the ledge and just like awestruck. She's like, what is this place? Alright, and your religion check was a 22, Draji. As you walk away, you try to kind of scour your memory of what this place could be. And you don't associate this with any particular religion, but with that high of enough a religion check, you note that this tree is kind of mythic quality. It has deep symbolism ingrained into the Leonic culture. You seem to recall this tree has something to do with the Great Founding War, where all the peoples of Leonic Empire had to fight against hordes and hordes of monsters and dragons in order to kind of earn the kingdom. And whatever magic this thing has is pretty top-notch. You're not sure what, though.
Top-notch. It is the best kind of magic, man.
Yeah,
Edgar should
Greater
look at that
than
tree and
level
just be like, that's a top-notch tree.
it is. Okay, and Adamir and Dante, you're searching the corpse. I'll have you make an investigation check, unless you want to. But yeah, you see the staff, you see his robes, He appears to have some kind of necklace on. It's actually very similar to the one you saw earlier, Adamir. That looks like a closed eye. It's kind of silvery.
Okay. I'll take that.
And he has...
Valuable?
His clothes are very finely made, but simple. You're not sure if they're magical right off the top of your head. And you find a very simple kind of pouch that you find a few coins in. We'll say, hold on. Yeah, we'll say 10 GP.
Okay.
And that's it.
What should I put down for the necklace?
Whatever you want. It's a closed eye necklace.
Okay.
You haven't identified what it does or anything, but one of the cultists down here, if you're looking at the map, had that as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Just take him. You can
I'm gonna
pawn
loot
off
all
later
the
for a couple of
corpses
silver.
as well.
Okay, and Dante's there as well if you'd like to compete for any of that stuff.
Well, Dante just took the staff.
Okay.
Um,
Let me check. I don't wanna... 1 second. Okay. You take the staff, and for a second you feel like a psychic probe into your mind and start to stir things around. And after a few minutes of holding the staff, it recedes to like a very low kind of hum. The staff doesn't seem to be rejecting you.
Dante will go ahead and stow the other staff for now and kind of hold the...
Okay, you put away Shade Spark, and the eye slowly begins to undilate and swivel about ever so slightly on its podium.
Alright. And then, Dante will kind of walk back up the ladder, and he'll call over to Adamir as he's going up the ladder. Just remember, everything you loot is property of the Winter Contingent.
Okay.
Don't forget to get your curse symbol off of you.
And as you get to the top of the ladder, you guys see the arcane circle begin to flare to life as the last of the Icarus substance seems to be burned away by the light from above. And it gets brighter and brighter. And new seals seem to be written into the circle as the bluish golden light seems to illuminate the cavern. And you realize that this thing is being utilized for something.
The circle, you mean, is being utilized for something?
Yeah. You don't know what though, like if it's summoning something or what.
Does it seem like something that is imminently happening?
Yeah,
Like,
it's getting brighter and brighter, and whereas before the circle was kind of just a perimeter, now it's beginning to different arcane runes are beginning to reach their way towards each other, towards the center of the circle. Like it's just
Alright.
slowly filling in.
Dante will call out to Adamir. Adamir, why don't you get out of the hole?
Oh, okay.
Why don't you
I was
just get
gonna-
out of there?
I was already looting this corpse. I was hoping to loot all of them, but I'll just like finish looting that one and then climb out.
Okay. Drajin Gatrogam, as you approach the
I probably would have approached him before.
yeah, as you approach Bane Arkham Maul, you begin to see him stir, and he begins to kind of jerk against the black chains that surround him. He's like, "Ugh, ugh." And though there's very little wiggle room, you can actually see that the amount of exertion he's putting forth is making the chains like grind very painfully, sounding against the stalagmite.
Josh is gonna look to Dante and Enemy and be like, "Did you guys find a key to unleash these chains?"
Can I
did.
find a lock? A
No,
padlock?
the chains just seem to be wrapped around 3 times, just this massive stalagmite, and
Here,
they're
I
pure.
can-
They're pure black.
Oh, the magic stuff. Okay.
Gatrogam takes a look at it. Can he find a weak point? Like a good spot to hit?
I want you to go ahead and do an investigation check for me.
Oh, by the way, I'm gonna go over here and pick up the fire sword.
No, you're not.
No, you don't.
That's not
He's
for
just-
you. You don't even know
walks
that's
over
there.
and Dragi's just
Oh,
like,
yes, I
"Fine."
No, you don't. That's not for you.
Well, Dragi's
That
right
was
there with
first.
Bane, so we'll
Yeah.
say that Adamir goes ahead and picks it up, and you guys can deal with it later.
15.
But Adamir just kind of walks around the stalagmite, and you don't really see where he goes. And you see the 15. There's a portion of the chain where there's just 2 instead of 3. Like the third wraparound didn't quite reach, and you think that might be a better place to strike.
Alrighty, he takes a look at the spot, just like does a little bit of a breathing exercise just to center himself, and like place a hand against it for a moment, rears back and strikes at it with all of his might.
Okay. Now, Katralgrim, you have an ability as a monk. We talked about briefly when we fought gargoyles earlier. That is essentially you treat
My unarmored strikes count as magic, yes.
count as magic. Okay. Because you're right. Because the fist would be nullified. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
my strikes are counting as magic, even as the fists are nullified.
Okay. I want you to go ahead and make an attack roll, please. Very nice. You smash your fist into it, and they kind of rattle, just. And you can see one of the link is beginning to kind of wear a little bit thin, and you think if you kept working on it, it might actually eventually break.
Alright, I would say flurry of blows, but I don't have any key points left, so I'm just gonna start wailing on it.
Okay, just make
Like
another,
hitting.
make another damage for me.
Are we talking actual damage? I thought you said attack roll.
Oh, sorry, yeah, attack, not damage.
15 on this one.
Yep. You smash into it once again. One of the links kind of break off, but there's still several layers to go through. Draji, what are you doing?
And you just overhear, you're just saying every single time that he hits, you just, ha! Ha! Ha!
Draji isn't quite sure what she can do because she knows that this black stuff is able to cancel out any sort of magic she has.
I'm powered by my key.
Yes. So she'll try to strike with her longsword?
Okay. So do you put away the invisible longsword and draw your old longsword?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Say you put it in its sheath, draw the longsword, and then just come down overhead, smash into the chain, and it kind of pings off a little bit. And it doesn't really do much. You see a tiny little nick in the chain, but it's really thick, and you don't think you're doing much.
Okay.
Adam-
I'm going to do a more aggressive investigation around the stalactite.
Okay, Adamir, what are you doing?
I guess I would be just like looking at the sword I picked up and trying to figure out what it does.
Okay, it's just a hilt, and it has like a symbol of like a ruby sun, kind of like embedded into the pommel.
I'd like to like kind of press it, see if it's a button. And if it doesn't-
You press it and it's smooth, and nothing you do appears to really be
It's
working.
not a toy lightsaber, Isaac.
Can I,
If
like,
it
make
is,
2
it
more
wouldn't be
attacks?
worth
I
it
missed
'cause
with the
it's got,
first one.
Force Awakens hilt, which is trash.
Awesome.
Yes.
Am I gonna notice him playing with the hilt, or am I gonna be busy
Yeah.
investigating?
When you
Smacking a chain.
well, go ahead and do your investigation check first.
Who, me?
No, me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not everything's about you, Isaac.
No, because everything's about me.
You're right.
You walk around and you do think Katralgrim has the right idea. He's working on the area where there's 2 chains instead of 3.
Okay.
Meanwhile, over close to the pit, Ina kind of like wipes her eyes, like kind of like rubs her like she's sleepy or trying to get the the dust out of her eyes. She's like, "What? Is it powering up? What?" And In the center of the circle, you guys see 3 figures begin to materialize, kind of this golden glow.
Demons!
Who is we?
Edgar's gonna speak up, trying not to sound panicked or anything. He's just gonna speak loudly enough for everyone to hear. We've got company, 3 figures.
Uh-oh.
I can just imagine his voice breaking at that moment. He's like, "We got company."
Dante's gonna kind of put a hand over on Edgar because he's kind of walked over to this point, and he'll say, "Don't worry. I think for some reason this time I'm not very suspicious."
It's because the watch together music hasn't changed. The music hasn't changed.
You're not
Everything's
wrong.
fine.
Okay.
Leandra's
I'd like to ready an Eldritch Blast to attack anything that looks threatening.
You just shoot at like the 3 angels.
Are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to ready a what is it, sonic wave or whatever?
I
just
ready,
shut the door in the hall.
ready gets
Just ready
behind
a
all of
thunder
you,
wave
ready to
to
thunder wave.
accidentally
Yeah.
shoot
Adamir just
Dante
jumps
into
Yeet
the
you all
pit and
into
Thunderwave.
into the portal.
Adamir readies an action to betray his comrades.
Yes.
I'm ready to action to betray my comrades.
Psych! I served the beholder.
Okay.
And that would be whenever you have a monk and a paladin behind you ready
I
to
would yeet
stab
and then
you.
be yeeted. Yes.
Go ahead and make one more attack roll for me, Katraga.
Oh, was I gonna roll an investigation to see if I saw him playing with the pommel that Arthur obviously gave to before he died?
You saw him briefly, but now there's a big commotion coming from the pit. And with your last hit, you kind of smash your fist into the side, and the last few links in the chain just explode outward. Little bits of black shrapnel go everywhere. And the figure that is Bane kind of falls over onto his knees is about to like just face plant on the ground.
Drashi catches him. Can I roll a catch?
Okay, you guys both kind of grasp his shoulder, and you immediately note how heavy this is.
How heavy him
Yeah,
is, how
his
heavy the
armor.
chain is, or both?
Yeah, just all of the above. You think the armor might be some kind of adamantine.
Ooh, that's a big man.
I would
Yeah,
like to kill him and
Yeah.
take his armor now.
I will
No.
kill you immediately.
I bet.
Okay, he moves very slightly, and one of his right hand kind of comes out and braces his form just on the ground, and the visored helm looks over at Katralgrim and then Draji.
Hey, Caleb.
Hey, Caleb.
Oh, hi.
I'm just Lucario from Smash Bros. Over here, just holding my Eldritch Blast in ready. It's just getting bigger and bigger.
You guys can't make out any discernible features about what this guy actually looks like. He's just totally armored. It's kind of like this kind of silverish adamantine plate, and the helm itself resembles slightly a dragon head. It's kind of tapered to a point with 2 horns that kind of curl off to the sides.
Katargon will immediately, slowly start laying him down if Draji is.
No, I'll keep holding him up. I'll support his weight. I will roll any kind of roll I need to support my Lord Bane. I rolled a 13. I suck.
Okay. Yeah, I won't have you make any checks, but he's really heavy.
Okay.
He kind of
He is rather.
Well, my modifiers for
yeah.
my.
So you kind of prop him back up against the stalagmite and remove the chains and all that. You can see his chest start to rise and fall very slightly through the armor. And for now, he just seems to be appraising you. You're not sure if he has the ability to speak or if he's just biting his tongue for now. But about this time, the 3 figures...
Wait, hang on. I'm gonna give him 2 pings of vitality because I still have that.
Okay. The kind of pearlescent, slightly red energy covers him, and you can't tell if he's being healed or not. But his breathing seems to be a little bit easier now.
And that's the last of it.
Okay. The 3 figures down at the circle begin to finally materialize. Two of them appear to be human height. One of them a little bit lankier, and the third a bit shorter, perhaps 4 feet tall. And then, with a gigantic golden path and the smoke dissipating through the cavern, the light shining a little bit dimmer, you see in the circle, let me get the GM overlay here, 1 second. You see a couple familiar faces. Immediately, as soon as they appear, you hear a slightly familiar childlike voice. I knew it'd work! I told you all! I told you it'd work! Yes! And she kind of like pumps her fist, and that is Oriel. And to the side, you see in his pale-eyed, old man, gray-haired, slightly grizzled, leans on a cane. Yes. Well, we're quite lucky. The others weren't so lucky. And behind him, you see the man who let you all into Lefena at the Mages Academy, Cressidus, who was aide to the Winter Contingency so long ago. Well, it seems it was meant to be. And Oriel says, "Look, guys, we have company!" Kind of waves enthusiastically. Hi!
Dante will kind of
They
wave.
could have been allies. They imagine if there was like 6 archers ready to shoot down at them at that point. Hi! Oh wait.
In Oriel's hand, you see a orb that is quickly growing dimmer and dimmer, but it's filled with that kind of golden energy. And Dante, you recognize that as the Wayfarer's Stone from basically the beginning of the campaign.
Yeah, I see.
Hey.
Which is probably still on, some mattresses per person, probably.
Actually, no, we never did pick up the Wayfarer Stone. We left it behind in the God's Realm. So it makes sense that he would have it.
Dante will pipe up and he'll kind of call out and say, "Welcome to Leandra."
Edgar's going to turn and look at Tina
sorry,
to ascertain her reaction. He's interested to see what her and Dante's reactions on their faces are.
Yeah, Ina is just very, her eyes are just kind of super wide, but you can see a very, very faint kind of smile slowly coming to her lips. This is the best news she's seen in the last 3 weeks,
Edgar will be
Dante's face
pleased
is
with
pretty
this.
straight, but if you know Dante's face, you'll understand that it's a straight face of surprise.
He has less wrinkles.
Yeah.
His brow is less furrowed.
That's the only expressions that he shows is the level of furrowness of his brow.
Honestly, he's as stoic as Kratos. He's just like, boy.
Boy.
If anybody knows God of War references.
I require assistance climbing this ladder. Oldemar begins to kind of stumble his way over towards the ladder.
It's like,
Oh, come on, it's not that hard. Just kind of put one. He kind of face plants into one of the rungs, ugh.
Alright, I'm gonna drop my E-Blast. Not on any.
Dante will kind of lean over towards Adamir, who's standing next to us, and say, "Go give him a hand."
Shoot
I
at
will
the old man. He's
I know.
probably the weakest.
It's force
Push him
damage. I
down
wanna
the
see him
ladder.
get pushed down. Yeah, exactly.
Wait
Like a
till he gets to
cartoon.
the top and
And then you turn around and you just thunder wave him back down.
Exactly. Yeet. Yeah, I help him up.
Okay, he says, thank you, young man. As you get closer, you note that the man before you smells of mushrooms. His eyes are totally pale. You think he's blind. Very lanky, he has a cane. And as you help him with the ladder, it says, "Thank you, fortune may smile." Precious.
Wait. What did you say?
Fortune may smile upon you.
Fortune may smile upon you. Yeah, it may. That's hilarious. I like that. Fortune may smile upon you.
Fortune also may not smile upon you.
Whichever. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Crescius appears to be just beholding the tree, and Oriel works her way up the ladder behind Oldemar. Says, "Hi, I'm Oriel." She kind of holds out her hand towards you, Adamir.
I shake it. What race is she?
It's really hard to tell. She's short, kind of pinkish hair, with elf-like ears,
Definitely.
but
No.
like 4.5 feet tall.
Okay. Yeah, I bend down and like shake her hand. It's like,
But her-
hello. What's
But
your
her
name?
but her eyes like change color every time she blinks. Like for a second, one of them is like pink and green, the other is like blue and teal, and it's just like really interesting. And when you grab her hand, like her hand turns into a tentacle and like gives you a nice little squeeze and shake.
What in the world?
Wild magic?
Pleased to meet you.
Dante will, as she's walking by, Dante will say, "So what worked exactly?"
So the stone you guys left behind, we've been trying to use it for weeks, and apparently, it wasn't attuned to any other place except its founding place, which was here. She kind of holds up her hand. But something happened. We couldn't use the summoning circle. We've been trying to reach you guys for weeks and decided to give it one last try before we all died.
I'm gonna say,
Well-
so do they know what's going on? Perhaps they could tell me.
We've been telling you, you just don't listen.
Okay. Could you
You
tell
hear
me
that
again?
from Draji across the room?
Yeah. Like, I mean, I can't argue with it because obviously I don't know what the grand scheme is, but
Dante's gonna look over Oriel's head because she's so short, and he'll say, "Go ahead and start collecting what you want. I think that we're going to need to start packing up here and head back to the city. I think that we have all the proof that we're going to need now."
I see that you just moved Ina. Is it alright if I intercept that action, DM?
Sure. Yeah.
Because Edgark at this point will probably take the opportunity to lay a comforting claw on her shoulder and arrest her attention.
Okay.
Ina, I'm afraid, while this seems to be very good news, and I would like to know more about these characters, he says as he passes a glance in their direction, I'm also afraid there's some bad news.
Yeah? And she kind of looks around when you say that and says, "Wait, somebody's missing."
Draji just kind of tilts her head down.
We've incurred a brave and... He stumbles over his words, not really knowing what exactly words to choose. A brave and worthy but very painful loss.
Oldemar looks down, says, "We as well have sustained many a loss. You may have noticed that our numbers were not as they once were. Xenos gave his life so that we may leave." Oriel has a little tear springing to her eye.
I just kind of like pat her on the shoulder.
"You should have seen the lightning magic. It was so cool."
Well, let's not waste time dwelling on the past. We need to get...
Draji's gonna pat Bane on the shoulder and ask if he's strong enough to hold himself up.
He slowly gets to one knee and then slowly stands up and says, I am as strong as I need to be. And kind of shakes the dust off his pauldrons and reaches for his belt, seemingly reaching for some kind of weapon, and materializes out of nowhere a large mace, which he just props up on his shoulder.
Just like a satisfying thunk.
Yeah, it just kind of apparates out of nowhere with this kind of silvery light. The mace has kind of like 7 prongs, and they're all golden, almost look like serpent type things that kind of curl out and around the head of the mace. And on each of the kind of serpentine golden serpent heads is a horn, which would assumably be used to impale people with the mace.
Of course.
Of course.
She's gonna watch this fantastic display of strength as he is able to move around in adamantine armor. She's going to just say a slight word of caution, hopefully not being insubordinate, and saying, I know that you go on adventures by yourself to deal with horrible darkness that creeps on our land, but know that you have friends here that are willing to watch your back. So lean on us as much as you need. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
I expected the creature. He kind of nods towards the beholder, but I did not expect a traitor in their midst.
Neither did I.
Can Katralgrim recognize the significance of the 7 golden phalanges?
Yeah, go ahead and roll a history check for me.
While he's
Would it
doing
not
that, I
be
have a
religion?
question for the DM.
You can do history or religion, your choice.
So DM, do I know how far underground I am currently?
No, you're not a dwarf.
You know you're really far underground, but you don't know exactly how.
Do I know, like, would it be more than 500 feet underground?
Yeah.
Okay.
Remember, we went through an entire black market on our way here.
Oh, that's true.
With that, Drudgy's gonna walk around. She's gonna remember that she needs to go and pick up the flaming sword that Arthur left behind for her, and realize it's not.
Katralgrim will lay a hand on the paladin's shoulder or the wounded paladin's shoulder, this guy, before walking around the pillar and moving to the pile of ash that was him.
So is
But
all
you-
of his stuff disintegrated as well?
Yeah. it's just-
Everything that's non-magical.
Oh boy.
It's just
all
dust.
that
Oh
magical
my
equipment
goodness.
Still.
Adamir's like, can I loot the ash?
Who died?
Arthur's old
That was
character.
Pelor,
Okay.
the Pelor guy.
The Pelor guy.
My goodness.
Wow, okay.
Dante will also walk over to inspect the remains briefly.
Inspect the remains briefly.
This time you're gonna hear Drudgy say a prayer, but not referencing Bahamut. She's actually gonna pray to Pelor this time.
Meantime, Crescidus appears to be speaking to Ina. Oldemar and Oriel kind of sit on the fringe, a respectful distance away.
While Drudgy is speaking her prayer, Katralgrim just like takes out a cloth and just like slowly scoots up, gets the ashes up into it, and tying it up into a bag.
Okay, so you get just a cloth bag, begin to shovel the ashes into it. Just a strange scent fills your nostrils. It's not altogether unpleasant. It's like the sun on a spring day. You
Sounds about right.
quickly kind of finish cleaning up the remainder.
Dante will
Yeah.
go ahead and start.
Ina bows her head respectfully.
As this is all happening, Dante's going to go ahead and walk around Drudgy, and he's going to just kind of start to leave the group. And as he passes Ina, he's going to kind of lean his head over to his ear and whisper, "Everything is all right. Vecna has been dealt two great defeats today.
This is what I wanted to avoid, she says, and just kind of nods towards the slowly growing bag of Arthur's ashes.
Does she remember the letter that I wrote to her?
Yeah, she read it.
Or did she remember? Not if she read it, does she remember?
Well, but that's kind of a meta.
No.
Well, I guess so. I guess you're right.
Because I wrote it to her. I'm asking Austin. Austin, are you there?
Yeah,
Okay. You're not confirming nor denying if she remembers.
correct.
Okay.
Well,
Correct, you are not remembering.
when Ina says that, Dante will reply, "He is but one death for the countless millions that you will save."
I sense another is missing. What became of the other founder? Symatris.
Dante won't reply, and he'll just keep walking.
Crescius's eyes narrow.
When he hears Symatris' name, he'll kind of jerk his head just slightly, which indicates that he did, but he won't reply. He'll just keep walking.
Kratos! Sorry.
Kadragum finishes up the gathering of ashes before turning around to the rest of the group and saying, "We should probably get moving."
Before we do, are there any, like, beholder bits that would sell in the black market? I'm low on funds right now.
You don't want to just start searching all of the undead corpses you're standing on?
I doubt they would have anything on them. But I
You don't know,
figure
they
the
might have
beholder is a
something
giant
on it.
eyeball. I figure anyone who... I'm just wondering if anyone would pay a bunch of money for a beholder eye. Or 6 or 7.
Turns out that one of the many corpses of the undead that you're standing on actually has a diamond in its pocket.
And another one had like a platinum piece in his other pocket.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if it's a giant eyeball, we can just cut it out super quickly and go sell it in the black market.
If you want to burst it, you can.
I mean, can't hurt to try.
Hey,
Worst thing
DM.
that happens is we desecrate the corpse.
Dim.
Yeah.
She's gonna go back over to where she had taken off her helmet and she's gonna wipe it off. And as she's passing by, she's gonna look to Adamir and be like, "Do you have the flaming sword?
The what?
Or the hilt? Do you have the golden hilt that was on the floor?"
It is only fair that Draji has it.
Fine. I hand it over.
She looks at it for a second and she was like, "Even though he wanted me to carry it, you were the one to pick it up and he admired your spirit. If you want to use it in honoring his name."
I am honored, and I am tempted to keep it because it's cool. However, my specialty lies in support, which I tend to like to do from a distance. I feel like you would probably benefit from this more.
Yes, he tends to like the thunder wave from a distance.
Yeah, there is that.
From
Also,
15 feet away.
Also, as if I can hear someone speaking in the back of my mind, I seem to be on slightly rocky ground with you all recently. Maybe this will help kind of smooth over a peace offering, if I may.
Bless you.
Did Isaac just give up a magic item?
I did.
Yes, he did.
What on
I know.
earth?
Not just any item, the Sunblade.
Yeah.
The Sunblade.
The
Oh my
Sunblade.
word, Isaac is changing. He's growing up.
I know, it brings a tear to my eye.
Don't worry, I'm storing up for Greca.
Do you want
brings her
to give
problems.
me
Oh no.
the stats of the Stone Sword, Austin?
Yes, 1 second.
It brings a
You're saving
roll
up
to
for
my eye.
Greco. You're saving up for Greco, where you have to literally steal everyone's stuff and try and
Actually-
backstab everyone.
Actually, you need to do a little bit of research before I can give you the stats on it. But
Oh, because Jack had all the information.
right, because
Jack
it
is
was
a pile of ash.
because Arthur, that was like a weapon of Arthur's faith, so he knew exactly what it did already, but not you.
No pile
So-
of ash in a bag.
So I'm assuming what's going to end up happening here is Adamir's just going to cut off a bunch of the ice stalks from the beholder, and then we'll.
I should like to attempt to do that with my dagger.
Your skiing due.
Oldemar watches on. There's all those eyes. Little did they serve it in its time of need. It's like, I hate beholders! Only fought like 2 of them in my time, but man, I hate those things. You guys are good! Nice job!
Thank you. Should I roll like a survival check? What should I do?
Roll a... Are you rolling just to cut off? It's like, are you just guessing as to what parts
I
are useful?
literally just want, literally anything that would seem
Alright.
valuable.
What kind of implement do you have to cut off its tendrils?
I have a dagger, I have a soul sickle, I have a rapier, and that's about it. I could smack it with a silver lute, but no.
Joshi could help. She has a magical sword.
That's fine.
By the way, you guys know that, like, if you take out the middle eye, you can totally get an awesome, like, arcane guardian later. It's awesome. Yeah.
Okay.
Too bad that's ruined.
Is it really?
It's probably salvageable. I don't know. I mean, Xenos like did worse on a beholder that we fought one time, so you can probably.
Yeah, I should like to try.
Okay, so you just begin kind of gutting the main eye and the tendrils. It's gonna take a while.
Okay. And actually, if we are, before I do, I say, this is gonna take me a while. Are we gonna kind of rest up here?
We should begin a move as soon as we can. I mean, we don't know what else is lurking in these chambers. We need to get going.
Yes. Well, if we are gonna take a rest, I can make it a little bit more worthwhile. Essentially, I can give you each an extra D6 of healing.
I
Adam here
guess
actually says that D6 of healing.
Yeah.
Dante will kind of just look around at everybody and look at himself and say, "Yeah, I suppose a short rest is in order." He won't say short rest because it's D&D lingo, but you know what I mean.
Well, that's all right. But yeah. So, I'm gonna spend a couple hit dice. 9.
So we'll rest underneath the tree.
Okay.
And Dante will spend a couple hit dice too.
Kind of, you guys, a few of you rest beneath the tree, a few of you kind of hang around Beholder, resting as you guys gut it and remove its tendrils. Bane will inspect Nestor Polonius' corpse.
Katrarva moves to the tree now that he's actually seen that it's, nice and golden and whatnot. He sits under the tree and just, meditates for now.
Okay, also, Katraldrum, your religion check from earlier. You know that the mace with the 7 golden heads is representative of the 7 golden dragons that are said to aid Bahamut, which is kind of like his personal guard.
I knew that, but I was making sure.
Right. Otherwise known as the 7 canaries of Bahamut. And you think that's an artifact of pretty impressive power. You've heard of a sacred mace of Bahamut, but you never heard anything more about it.
Edgark is gonna go up to Dante and notice that he has acquired a new toy. He's going to offer his usual service.
Yeah, Dante will nod and hand it over.
Alright, might as well go ahead and get this over with before the rest. At least that's my idea. Alright. Let's go with identify.
How many more of those can you do or want to do before a short rest?
I can do 2 more after the one that I just did.
Okay.
And if this turns out to be something really epic, of course I will probably end up casting Legend Lore on it.
Yes.
Okay, so you're gonna cast Identify on the staff during your short rest?
Yes, identify on the staff.
Cool, cool.
And I think he said before the short rest, if that matters.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the idea at least.
Okay,
I
yeah,
mean-
so you grasp the staff from Dante, and let me check character sheets real fast. Yeah, when you grab the staff, you feel that kind of same psychic tendril that went through Dante's mind, and the hat on your head, this is making me feel uneasy. And then I need you to make an intelligence save.
An intelligence save.
Oh no.
As this is happening, Edgearch's gonna, he's gonna kinda nod his head forward and he's gonna be like, he's gonna say, Dante, what's happening?
Don't forget that you have +5 to any saves.
Ah, yeah.
Dante-
Thank you.
Dante is going to stand ready to yank the staff away from him, just in case.
Okay. You grasp the staff, and you feel like the hat is helping you somewhere along the lines. Says, "You drop it now!" And you feel this psychic tendril wrap its way around your mind, and it's like constricting it, and it's blasting you with images of horror. And then you drop it before anything too horrible can be shown to you. But in that short amount of time, you're going to be taking 1 psychic damage.
Wow.
Wow.
Man, that Joker's just not lucky. He's paralyzed during an entire fight. He's almost doused in pacifism poison, and then he's getting attacked by a staff.
That's right.
Oh, man.
Everything I do is trying to kill me. That's why Edgearch's gonna kind of sit down after that experience and kind of shake his head. He's just gonna be silent for a second. That's what he'll say. Everything I do is trying to kill me.
Dante will catch the staff before it clatters to the floor.
Okay. Yeah, you catch it, and the eyeball is still kind of like pulsatingly looking at Edgearch. Like every few seconds, like a wave of kind of like reddish energy kind of like pulses across the surface of the eye.
Can Dante make an attempt to calm it down or to force it to quiet it somehow?
Blind it.
Arcanically?
Blinded.
Yeah, you could try to make an Arcana check. The rest of you guys, what are you doing?
By the way, did I still expend identify, or did it not count since I didn't even get the chance?
No, you cannot cast that. You did not cast Identify. You took it into your hands, and then it failed.
Right.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
And Austin, I posted up what I was wanting to do. I don't know if you read it or not.
Yeah, I don't.
I basically said that Draji has a lot of questions for me, but she's feeling a little insecure and unsure about asking, since this is a man of power that has influenced her life for 10 years. So she'll just sort of settle down near the tree, polish her armor of the Ichor, and then attune to the sword for whatever amount of time she can. Just sort of investigate it.
Okay. So yeah, you kind of sit down within eyesight of Bane, because you're contemplating what to ask and how to approach. And as you do, you're tuning yourself to this blade. It seems a little bit reluctant at first, because you're not a chosen of Pelor, but the more time you spend with it, the more you feel that it's beginning to connect with you.
Now, are you under the tree or are you close to the tree? Because if you're under the tree, then you're nearby to control room meditating.
Well, I wasn't quite sure where everybody was moving because our tokens aren't being used. And
Yeah, we'd probably all go down there and kind of relax around the circle and the tree.
The
Plus,
cultists
it makes
kinda
for
get
really
out of
cool
the
imagery.
Yeah, we just toss them over to the side.
just pick them up like you do in Skyrim, and their bodies ragdoll everywhere. You just
Right.
fling them.
You mean Dishonored?
DM, I got a 24 on that Arcana check.
24. Yeah. So with the Arcana check, you manage to kind of actually you pour some of your magic into the staff and just kind of override whatever personality that didn't sit well with it with Edgearch. And it slowly kind of calms down to that chilling serpentine glare once again.
After that, I'm
Alright.
gonna ask, just Edgearch. I said, if you don't mind, I've got a couple things that could use identification as well.
Edgearch says, I'd be glad to, but to be honest, at the moment, I'm quite fascinated by the staff. I want to try to take another look at it, but more carefully this time. But just so I know, what have you got?
Well, I have this, and I pull out what I have written in my character sheet simply as amulet. I'm assuming Austin told me to write that.
I'm guessing it's the closed eye amulet you just picked up.
No, I have that as well. This is a different amulet.
They're the same amulet. You got two of the same amulet, Isaac.
Oh, okay.
That's what I was saying earlier. Is that it's
Yeah.
It's the same amulet that the other guy was wearing.
Yep.
Good thing.
all right.
Yeah.
And are they matching? Like, do they look just the same as each other?
I think I sent the message.
You can send it in a DM. It shows up yellow if you PM it to me.
I mean, just undertone talking while we're resting.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, if
Okay.
he's not gonna excuse me, holy cow. If he's not gonna identify it for me, I'm gonna go back to harvesting the beholder bits.
Oh, I'd assume you'd already done so.
Oh, well, I'm gonna take the short rest to do that. I was just trying to get in the identify before that. And
Okay.
y'all remember, add a d6 to whatever hit dice you spend.
All right, so we would all like to know what exactly is going on. We have a fairly adequate understanding of what's happening in the other parts of the world, but why in the world has the capital not helped those poor people out yet? This is Oldemar speaking.
Well, simply put, they don't believe anything bad has happened. They have chosen to hide their heads in the sand. And Vecna has assisted them in doing it. When we get back to Leandra, we will need you, as well as Vane, and Dante will point over it, to appear before the local legislature and tell them what's going on. I'm sure that the scrying orbs are running smoothly again now, too, so we should have more than enough proof.
Yes. So, I assume that you removed some kind of blighting curse from the Tree of Sigisthund.
Yes, they had put silencing stone into the circle here. It seemed to be dampening everything in this cavern.
I see. We had suspected as much. And Oriel speaks up. So, have you guys tried to get in contact with the small council? What about the kid, what's his face? The magical affairs kid that we sent over.
Dante is going to think about the past and try and figure out what kind of magical affairs kid she might be referring to. Keen mind.
I was talking to someone. Can you recap the last, 30 seconds?
She's asking about if we saw a kid of some kind that they have sent.
Oh, okay.
magical affairs kid?
Yeah. So you can only think of like the Minister of Magical Interest who saw your staff and called you basically a faker who's lying
yeah.
to the Cronus Waltz was his name.
Is that who she's talking about?
That's the only thing that comes to mind.
Dante will say, "Does Cronus Waltz ring a bell?
Yeah, that's it, Waltz.
You know him?
Yeah, I mean, we sent him over to represent the Mages Guild in Leandra. That's his job.
Well, next time you have a Mages Guild, I'd pick a different representative."
Don't tell me. Would he turn you down? Did he not believe you?
He believed this was a fake, and Dante will pull out Shade Spark and hand it to her.
Yeah, I remember that creepy staff. Have mercy. What is that sound?
What?
It's from you.
The sound of our death.
I was using compressed air to blow a fidget spinner, trying to see how fast it'll go.
Dude, like, you should do that, mute your mic.
Yeah,
Well, it's
I thought-
it's a unidirectional mic, so I thought it wouldn't pick it up.
we can pick up your cards.
It can pick up
This
your
is true.
breathing through wherever
I mean,
orifice you use to breathe.
That's well,
Currently, it's only my mouth. That's why.
Yeah, actually it is all the time.
Yeah.
How's
All right. No,
Yeah, it's all the time.
all right. You don't have to roll, Isaac. You're harvesting the older bits.
Okay.
And Oriole is saying, "Wait." He turns you down.
Yeah. Did you get the part where Dante handed Shade Spark over?
No. Okay, so yeah, so she's like, "Yeah, oh, I remember that creepy staff of yours." Yeah,
You can talk to him when you get back.
Yeah, we're gonna have a few words with Little Waltz.
Little Walt.
Meantime, fill us in. What's the situation? So, small council, and you guys are getting people together to do what now? Something about the end of the world, right?
We need to have the calendar set back a matter of months in order to give us enough time to get Ina to the Silent Monastery.
Does that make sense to you, Aldemar? Yes. Well, it's all about the loopholes and the strange divine legislature that occurred long ago. It's like, okay, well, that seems like a reasonable loophole. Nah, that's so stupid. Why would that be a loophole? Anyway, all right, we'll get the calendar thing done for you. And meanwhile, I think you should have a talk with him. And she kind of nods over to Crescidus, who is just kind of sitting with his knees pulled up to his chest, kind of near Ina. They're kind of awkwardly sitting next to each other.
To clarify, did you say we need to have a talk with him, or did she say you need to have a talk?
They're speaking with Dante, but yeah.
Right. Okay,
Dante will look at Ariel and ask her, so where were you exactly when you came here?
Well, we were pushed out of the Mages Guild. We got on the boats as we thought we would, but there was so many. There was a Death Knight and two liches. There was even a dragon, not one of those undead ones that you were telling us about. It was a giant white one. It came in, killed half of the mages before we knew what to do. Xenos was the one who had to stay behind. You should have seen the fireworks. Lightning everywhere. He gave them a run for their money while we escaped. We ended up having to travel south after we got off the boat. We were going northeast, trying to wrap our way around over to Leandra or Dynasis, but storm wrecked us offshore. We had to travel south, Stone Hills. Then we got to an old castle. It was there we set up for a while. The madness, the undead. They're encroaching. The West, it's nothing like it was. Aldemar could tell you more. He's seen things.
How long did Jill have to hold up there?
The majority of the time, we probably 2-3 weeks. Long enough for us to get bored out of our minds and wish someone would come get us. We lost a lot of people in the few waves that hit us before we managed to get out. We're the only ones that are left. I don't think any of their mages survived.
Ironically, your survival has thwarted Vecna's plans a great deal.
Yeah, it is ironic, isn't it? Yeah. And Bane's gonna walk over to Draji at this. Just kind of sit down, and just.
Katralgrim's right there too, so he's just gonna sit on the other side.
Yeah, it's just kind of like sit with Katralgrim in between him and you. It's gonna say nothing for now, but he occasionally glances in your.
But Katralgrim's gonna hear her breathing sort of stagger, because now it's been interrupted. It was fine when he was over here, and now he's over here.
And now suddenly he's much closer.
She was okay, she was able to think that far away and, figure out what kind of questions but now he's right there. It's like...
Katralgrim will hear her breathing stagger and hesitate, and he will lay a clawed hand onto her shoulder. Remember to breathe.
She inhales and she holds it for too long.
And that just cues the roll of the eyes.
She tries. She's trying.
She does.
You have to understand, she's been living under the shadow of this man for 10 years. This is really hard for her. And on top of that, she's trying really to focus herself to keep on the mission, because she doesn't want to seem like an 8-year-old child wanting to ask a billion unnecessary questions. But she just has a lot to say. But she's thinking, we need to get this done first so that we have more time to talk.
Well then, while she's in her internal turmoil, Katralgrim will actually turn to the large gentleman and say, "So, Bahamut sent you on this mission too, did he?"
He nods slowly. I knew something was amiss in the depths of the Undercity. I never expected it to go this deep. The tree of Sigismund is under the protection of the higher-ups in the church. The perversion that beset it is no doubt the cause of the various mishaps that have been occurring all around the city. Now that its corruption has been lifted, I suspect the protections that it once granted this once great city will be in place once again.
With that, finally there's an icebreaker. Somebody is able to speak up before she can say something. She's going to... she's finally going to let out that breath and ask, how did Tizinus and Nestor defeat you? How did they get the opportunity to chain you to that stalagmite? Anytime there was a hard mission that was given to us, you always came back victorious, even when you were by yourself.
Nestor was the one who asked of me to come investigate the seal with me. He thought something was amiss, and my instincts agreed, so I came with him. Before I knew it, he had cast powerful hexing curses upon me, magic that did not come from Pelor. The various minions of these dark caves converged upon me, and with Tizinus there, I could not cast any of my miracles. I was trapped, and the lethality stone trapped me to the stalagmite. I was repeatedly charmed by the beholder's powerful, charming ray, but I managed to hold out until you appeared.
The beholder tried to charm me plenty of times, and the protection of Bahamut was able to keep me from succumbing to his will. How was he able to overcome you with such charms?
The chains. The horrible magics of the demon from the Magi War. It isolates all kinds of magical currents, and that includes that of the divine. When you are surrounded in that cold blackness, you are truly alone.
I guess a monk is never truly alone since their power comes from within.
Monk is always alone. That's the whole point.
This sounds, not to repeat it, but it sounds very, very lonely. It's always a comfort knowing that I have Bahamut to watch my back like I did earlier.
It is a horror that I would not wish upon anyone. I prayed to Bahamut, though, and he answered me in the form of you all. I assume you have other reasons for coming down here, and I would love to hear them, but for now I am merely thankful that someone came to the aid of this great city.
Katragrum will then point towards his is his mace deapparated at this point, or does he still?
Nah, he's still kind of holding it casual. It's far too large and unwieldy to actually put away, like on his back or in a holster.
I could see him having some kind of handkerchief and he's just like polishing it or whatever. Polishing the golden bit.
Katragrum will point towards it and say, "The 7 helpers of Bahamut could not help you today, did they?"
That's not necessarily the 7 helpers, that's just a symbol of them. If it was the actual 7 helpers, you would have 7 cardinals, golden cardinals.
Katragrum turns over to Draji and says, I know the rumors."
Well, those don't look like 7 golden cardinals now, do they?
No, but they were 7 golden dragons. Do you not see the golden dragon heads?
I see the golden dragon heads, but okay.
The Golden 7 are the messengers and aides of Lord Bahamut. They are responsible for delivering to and fro the prayers and solicitations of his followers. In a way, I think they did help me today.
It's like you said earlier, we came down here to help save the city and we ended up finding him too.
Okay, back to Edgark. So Edgark is identifying the staff, and what else?
We're trying.
Well, I explained that the 2 identifies for the
Intense
amulet.
music for identifying. Yes.
Remember, you can actually cast Identify as a ritual, so you don't have to spend them.
I was hoping to also take part in the short rest, though.
Yeah, okay.
Dante will hold the staff this time so that it doesn't have any negative reaction.
Well,
I'm not working on the staff yet. I was going to go ahead and identify the amulets first while everyone's been talking this whole time.
Okay, so identify the amulets first. When you touch it, you feel this sense of... It's hard to say, but almost like clouded moral ambiguity. Like, you could do something right now and have your conscience not afflicted by it.
moral ambiguity, the best ambiguity.
But you identify it and you find that this is an amulet of masking. Or as some call the amulet of the unseen god. These amulets mask the alignment of whoever wears it.
Fascinating.
I do have one question that I was wanting to ask Bane. She's gonna pull out the golden hilt of the sun sword and she's gonna ask, it wouldn't be sacrilege of me to want to use the sword, even though it was given to me by a cleric of Pelor. He wished for me to hold it and use it in honor of Pelor, and I kind of want to use it in his memory.
My understanding of Arthur is that he was a true and noble cleric.
Indeed he was.
If he represents the will of his deity, then I think it is the will of Pelor for you to wield that blade.
Well, time to be a paladin of Pelor now.
Yeah.
That would trouble Raji a little. She's never had the idea of serving two gods before. She's only ever served Bahamut all her life because that was what her family taught her.
Now you're the major servant of all good deities.
Ah! Too much pressure. She's gonna crush. The whole world's gonna be on her shoulders.
Almost literally sometimes.
Quite literally.
Alright, well... Dante... I guess let's give that staff a go again.
Okay. Now, for identify, you do not have to touch the artifact, correct?
Actually, you do. That's so in the description.
Dante is going to try and hold it so that it's not, like, very firm. And I guess, I don't know, it seems like it has kind of a mind of its own, so Dante's going to try and do what he can to command it to submit.
Okay. I want you to make a charisma save. Or check, rather, please.
Dante?
Yes. You're
Okay.
you're essentially enforcing your will upon it.
Right.
Now, is this before or after Edgark has already taken hold of it?
This is before, because he's trying to
Yeah.
suppress it so that you can actually use it.
Gotcha.
You can actually identify it.
Yeah.
Are you within my range?
It's a check, not a save.
Oh.
Oh. Huh. I was about to freak out.
Check on a 20.
Yeah. So you
You
kind
can do
of,
it.
you kind of impress your will upon the staff, and what seems to accept you does seem hesitant about being held or touched by anyone else.
Maybe I should touch it.
Maybe we should all touch it. Just take
Dante.
Just everyone collectively touch it. Everybody just has their brain.
It's just the staff that does not like its space to be invaded.
Apparently.
We must put
Dante.
our pressure.
Dante will.
This is a staff wielded by a servant of Vec. It's understandably finicky.
Yeah. Dante will kind of look over at Edgark and say, I'm going to have to learn more about this before you can touch it. Unfortunately.
Alright, so last time when I touched it, I had to make a, was it intelligence saving throw?
Yeah.
Alright, is that something that I could get assistance from Dante if we went ahead and tried it again anyway? Like, is this something you would allow assistance for?
I don't think so in this
Alright,
context.
alright. Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
No, I mean, Draji has a buff that affects all saves.
Yeah.
It's not close enough to her, actually.
Correct.
Before I was, though, wasn't I?
It's a 10-foot area.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I wasn't.
Well, earlier my understanding we guys like over here.
Is there a way to learn about the stats of a magic item without casting Identify on?
I think there is. Hey, hang on. All I have to do is name or describe the object to use legend lore, although that's a little bit extreme. But if this is a staff wielded by a servant of Vecta, it might be worthwhile, although it will take 10 minutes.
Also, Legend Lore has some component costs.
Oh shoot, you're right, and I don't have the things. Never mind. Forget that.
This
I need to
is
get
the
used to
second time this has happened.
Yep, I need to get used to that. That's my bad.
You guys have some money. Time to get some cool components for your high-level spells.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be like the first thing Edgark will want to do when he gets back to town.
Okay.
Okay, but for now, Edgark will say, I suggest we take this over to the supporting aura of our trusted ally, Draji, because I want to give it another go.
You wanna what?
Give it another go.
You said my name though.
Yeah, I said we should take this over to the presence of our trusted ally, Draji.
Oh.
Or something like that. Something getting assistance from Draji.
When someone said something about expensive components, I was looking through my spells to see if anything needed components, so I wasn't listening. I'm sorry.
Anyways, yeah, he'll ask Dante to bring the staff over to to closer proximity with Draghi.
Oh, in addition to using the Identify spell, you can identify a magic item during a short rest. At the end of a short rest, the creature gains an intuitive understanding of how to activate any magical properties of the item, including any necessary command words.
Which also involves touching.
But Dante could do it.
Yes.
It's up to you. You
Yeah,
want to get
so
it identified
Dante,
now or later?
Dante will go ahead and identify it at the end of the short rest.
Okay.
Wait, does that? Oh, that makes sense. Being a ritual, because you can
Could you,
do the thing without the expending the thing.
Yes. So you know identify. Correct, Dante?
No. But you can do it without. You can do it without knowing Identify.
Could you copy paste that for me real quick? I'm not doubting you. I just want to make sure the way I think it does.
I'm doubting you.
Identifying a magic item, page 136 of the player's handbook, I believe. Let me look that up.
A lot of role playing getting done this session. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, since there's not anything around us to kill, so.
Yeah.
But I mean, I killed those chains really good.
Okay.
Real
yeah.
good.
Real good.
Page 136 does not appear to have anything about magical items on it. Hold on a minute.
Are you using the? What are you using to find what format do you have the book?
PDF.
There you go. The numbers are going to be your own. The page numbers.
Yeah, I actually turned to the actual page.
Oh, no.
136.
It's in the Dungeon Master's Guide.
That explains it.
Page 1, actual page 136 of Dungeon Master's.
I can look that up real quick, guys.
So you're getting closer to me so you can get a
got
better
it.
save? Is
Well,
that
that
what
was
he
the
wasn't
original
within
plan.
your. He wasn't in your 10-foot aura.
Okay, Draghi's probably going to notice his movement towards her.
Well, he was going to address you, but now that doesn't seem to be the plan anymore. If Dante's going to do it, and
Oh.
he doesn't have to worry about the.
Okay.
Edgeark just leans closer to her and she says, "Are you coming on to me?"
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yep, you can do that.
Sweet. Alright, Dante will do that. So Dante will let Edgeark know that, nah, I can do this.
Edgeark just feels so useless today. Like,
He's like, "I can
Waiting
identify
for
this. Oh
anybody.
wait, I can't touch this." And Dante's like, "Never mind, I got this."
he just can't get he just can't do anything. In fact, at this point, he's probably actually going to be a little disheartened. He's just gonna come over here. He's just gonna flop down next to Ina.
Hey, I'm going to roll insight and see if I can see how upset you are.
Can my passive insight tell me how upset he is?
I don't see anything because of my helmet. I knew as soon as I put on my helmet.
Oh.
Dante would say something that would help Edgeark, but he doesn't really have a need. He probably doesn't really even recognize that Edgeark is emotionally disturbed.
Edgeark's interested in learning about these new characters, and probably the one who has spoken the least is the one who's sitting next to Ina anyway. So he'll flop down next to Ina, and after he takes a minute to recharge himself, he'll probably try to strike up a conversation
You're
with
sitting
this
next to the corpse of
green-robed
Nestor.
individual. Do what?
You're sitting next to the corpse of Nestor, and I find it interesting.
He just kind of takes his toes. He just kind of takes his toes and scoots Nestor a little bit, and it just like flops down right next to it.
Doesn't even look at him for a long while and just like kick him a little bit and then flop down, just like he did with the mine.
He might.
the behold.
He might actually do that because he's, like I said, he's frustrated. He might actually do that. It's not gonna be violent or anything. He'll just kind of, if you all are familiar with the Luigi kick, he'll probably do the Luigi kick.
little Luigi taunt kick.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
Do
you
one point of damage.
So yeah, alright, so you sit down next to Ina, and this gray-haired individual, you actually find out he's an elf when you get a little closer. He was gray-haired, so and kind of longish hair. So the first thing you thought was he was a human, because it's so rare you actually see an elf that's old enough to have gray hair. But he has angular features and eyes that are like color of kind of like honey, and it's obvious he's an elf once you get close enough. You don't think an Eladrin, perhaps high elf or wood elf.
Interesting. All right. Edgeark will let a moment pass. Was there any kind of conversation or anything going on before he came over? He didn't interrupt anything, did he? Because he would feel awkward if he did.
No, they are apparently just sitting in silence.
And then he would still feel awkward even if he didn't.
Probably. His confidence is definitely shaken for him today. Anyways,
Shaken,
he's gonna
not
flop
stirred.
down with the what?
Shaken, not stirred.
He'll let the silence pervade for a moment.
He shooketh.
He shooketh, shaken to death. All right, and he'll address this new character that he probably does not remember the name of, although I think he did hear it earlier. I'm trying to think from his perspective.
Yeah, you think it's a sea name. Sounds a little bit like Severian, maybe Cressidus or Crustacean.
Greetings, croissant. My name is Edward. No. He'll say, I believe I missed your name earlier. My name is Edgeark. It's nice to meet you.
Cressidus. He holds out his hand.
Edgeark will take his hand in a claw hand and give him a firm shake.
I take it that you've been looking over the Chosen One. Kenna looks over at Ina for a second. You have my thanks.
Edgeark will sit back down. He'll be like, "It's been an honor, in a manner of speaking. I certainly did not envision this being my fate when I came to this continent."
Nor do all who are chosen for this fate. But that is not for us to decide.
So, if you don't mind my asking, he'll just kind of lean forward confidentially. How have you two met? Or how do you two know each other?
I was an aide of sorts to those that came before you. I seek to offer my aid to Dante and the rest of you if you will have me. The world needs any and all it can get.
Edgeark would like to ascertain the look on Ina's face right now, and her response to his explanation.
Her eyes are kind of downcast. She seems a little distraught, but quiet and really calm. Like, seeing familiar faces has kind of put her at ease, but the loss of Arthur and recent events have left her somewhat distraught.
Edgeark will mull over. He'll be trying to think of a way to encourage her or improve her mood somehow. Because Edgeark believes very strongly in the power of morale. However, he'll have to think on that a minute if you want to go to someone else.
Sure. Yeah. So Oriel is just going to start making rounds. She's just talking to Oldemar for a little bit. The conversation actually appears to be really serious, and you kind of see all of the childlike charm kind of leave her for a few seconds as they speak to each other in whispers. And then she gets up and begins just walking around everybody. Hi, Bane. Fancy seeing you here. How are you?
She knows Bane.
Good as can be expected, I suppose. Well, that's fantastic. That's fantastic. I guess this didn't turn out as well as you had hoped, but hey, we're here, so it all kind of turned out in the end. And Bane's like, yes, I suppose that's true.
And then immediately Draji is jealous because she's able to talk to Bane. Unencumbered by...
No, it's more like this person who just came out of a portal was like, "Hi, Bane," and she just knows him. It's like, who are you? It's like, what kind of history do you, Bane and I forget her name already.
Oriel.
Have.
Actually, guys, I actually have a
Because I rolled a 15 in history. I was trying to see if I could recall any memories that Nenvreka might have left. I don't know if you heard me or not. Austin.
no, I did not. Excuse me.
Okay. I said that I rolled a 15 in history to see if I could recall anything that Nenvreka, like any memories that Nenvreka would have left behind.
Yes, very, very brief images of kind of the tribunal's silhouettes, and less like any specific memories. But you kind of sort of remember Oriel, you kind of sort of remember Oldemar, and you remember there was a third figure that's no longer here.
So I just get this vague impression of pink hair.
Yeah. It was actually her hair was kind of like a strawberry blonde at the time. Pink is new. But yeah, can you guys see the handout?
Well, the notes that I got from like 6 years ago says that she still has pink.
You probably simplified it to pink rather than strawberry blue.
Yeah, I might have.
Handout? What handout?
I don't see anything other than Ina under NPCs.
Yeah, there's Xena.
Okay, hold on. I'm hitting show to players. You guys not saying that?
Let me go to a different tab and come back. No.
Oh, let me change it. There we go.
Well,
There we go.
There it
hit
is.
refresh on the page.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I see you now.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah,
Yep,
so
she's definitely a gnome.
Yep, she walks up, says, "Hi, I don't think I know you." Holds out her hand to control room.
No, give me a moment, I need to refix my map. Control room slowly moves slightly from his position of meditating to shake the small person's hand.
Okay. She grabs your hand, and her hand morphs into like a dragon claw, kind of reminiscent of a dragon ball hand when she shakes your hand.
Control room tenses up for a moment as he sees the transformation, but breathes and relaxes. She wanted us, and then he thinks in the back of his mind, if she wanted us dead, she wouldn't be saying hello.
Closest thing we got to a secret handshake right now. Then she walks over to Draji. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Don't think we know each other. Also, I didn't get your name. What's your name?
My name
Oh, sorry,
is...
Katrog, what's your name?
She's like, oh, I'm sorry, what is your name? And she turns right back to control room. He clears his throat for a moment and says, Katrogrim, before returning to meditation.
Alright. Yeah. Now back to you. Sorry.
No, back to you. Okay, I'm sorry about that.
Kind of jarred a little. She's gonna say, my name's Draji Dawnfield. You might have known my guide Nenvreka?
Oh yeah, the masked girl?
Yeah. The David Slayer.
she was super moody. I couldn't really get into it, but she was okay, probably a decent person. I don't know.
I don't know about moody. I've always known her to be incredibly kind. She might have just been moody just because, everything was kind of being taken over by the undead. It's not very pleasant thing to deal with.
That tends to happen.
It hampers the mood, yeah.
Well, nice to meet you. Donfield sounds familiar. You, family, perhaps?
A very old family.
Oh. Yeah, sounds familiar. We'll have to catch up later. Walks over to the main group. Hi, I know you. I know you. Oh, hi.
I know you. I know you. Hi there.
Is that a hand? Oriel. Ooh, cool hat.
Edgard, thank you. This is the hat of Atkinsell's final thought.
Hawkins. Yeah, I thought so. I heard cool stuff about that hat.
She's
The hat's just very noticeable, but I'm wearing the gloves of Akinsel and nobody knows.
The Hat of Final Thoughts is one of the more notorious Akinsel artifacts. But yeah, she said, "Oh wow, did you get that? I heard it was in Akraza, which would make sense. You're a Dragonborn.
Yes.
I won't push you too much. But hey, did you find it in some kind of spooky tomb, or did somebody give it to you?"
Austin, I think he actually directly gave it to me, or do I misremember?
He would have given it to you. That's what I remember.
Yeah, you are actually a disciple of Akinsel.
Yes, I wasn't sure I remembered correctly that he directly gave it to me. And I will say so. Akinsel passed this down to me. Upon his passing, I'm one of his disciples.
Ooh, a genuine inheritor. That's pretty cool. Well, hey, we always have job openings for Disciples of Akinsel. As you might have known from what I said earlier, we have some openings in the guild. Yeah. So let me know what your thoughts are. I know this gig with Dante is probably pretty important, but hey, if you get it,
just let the heads figure out what your thoughts are.
Edgark will give her a smile and say, "Thank you for the offer. I will continue to consider it."
Fantastic. I think that's everybody. She kind of appears right next to Dante. So Dante,
Wait.
what you doing?
Shit, Adamir.
Oh yeah, there's Adamir, but it'd be actually, I think it'd be funnier if she just forgets Adamir.
Yeah.
Adamir's just,
Just forget Adamir.
Oh, that's everybody.
Sorry, Isaac, we just forgot Adamir.
Beholder bits somewhere else, but
Dante will just say, he's going to be holding that staff, and he'll just say, "Determining the qualities of the staff.
Looks pretty
Would
evil.
you like to take a look?"
No, I don't think I will. That looks pretty insidious.
It's just like.
No, give me a shot. Can't help. She grabs the staff, holds it up, and just like gets really close to it and just stares into it.
Stares directly into the eye.
I like this.
And then the eye whispers, "I see you."
Dante will
Well, I
patiently
think
watch
too.
and see how the staff reacts to her.
The eye kind of bulges for a second, and then just goes totally black. Just the whole thing just blacks out.
Ooh.
It says, "Oh, guess it doesn't want to look at me. I'm pretty. I'm attractive. I don't know what its problem is. I don't know. Just take it." Here, she gives it back to you.
Joshi
Dante will
just
nod
shakes
in
her
her
head
direction.
and turned to Bane is like, "Is she like this always?"
Always.
On a few encounters, she was somewhat worse.
Oh, so this is mild. Interesting.
I can only attribute it to the tragedy that occurred in the West.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, undead trampling on your home kind of dampens them. I understand.
We will not let that be the fate of those in the east. Oldemar looks over at you two. And he actually begins murmuring something in the arcane language. And his eyes close, and he kind of looks up to the ceiling. Alright, and I think that's about it for the short rest, unless somebody else wants to do something. Adamir, you begin cleaning up to Zonis, and you finish that up by the end of the short rest. Everybody spend what they want to spend for the short rest, and we'll get this on move.
Cool.
Excellent. Earlier, when you mentioned that Oriel just said, I think that's everybody, when she completely forgot about Adamir, Edgark would probably be thinking in his mind something along the lines. I wonder if Oriel has difficulties with object permanence on occasion.
Just be like a puppy dog.
You don't see it, it's not there.
I didn't think I was the kind of person who was that easily forgotten. That's certainly not what I'm going for.
And
But,
yet,
you
it's
know,
what happens.
And yet I'm so forgettable.
Who are you again?
Particularly by young ladies that I would like to flirt with. This needs to change.
You know, I'm surprised you didn't try to hit on Draji when you finally got to see her face.
Yeah, true.
How fair and beautiful she is.
He just
Yeah.
like slides over
After
towards
she,
Roger and just like,
After
you look nice.
she, yeah.
Huh? Both of you are talking at the same time, I can't hear you. I'm an old lady.
That's probably why he doesn't
Yeah.
like you. You're too old.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I mean,
Well, I mean, seeing as I'm an elf, like I'm over 100 years old, but like,
you're still a baby in elf years.
right. Alright, so what I get? What beholder bits did I get?
Yeah, so you managed to carve out the main eye, so you can add that.
Okay.
Along
That's
with
a
that,
really big eye, though.
along with that, 4 of the stalks were salvageable. And you're going to have to find some kind of condition, like holding condition for the big eye, because yeah, it is a bit large.
Alright, just strap it to Draji's back. We'll be fine.
I'm the pack mule. Now that Trokar isn't here, I'm the pack mule.
You always end up carrying the large scrying orbs, the giant eyeballs.
The giant suit of armor that looks like dragon, which I left behind, by the way. Because I was like, I'm not using this. Because the armor that I have is ceremonial. It has sentimental value.
Okay, so you get 4 of those eye stalks, and 1 large eye, the main eye, and that's it. You get the rest. That's it. All right, and everybody kind of chills, talks amongst themselves. Edric, you try to encourage Ina where you can. Raji and Bane kind of murmur to each other occasionally. Different questions being swapped back and forth. Katralgar meditating. Dante researching the staff. Oriel kind of watching with some interest. And Adamir kind of returns towards the end of the rest, just totally covered in beholder, ichor, and bile, with just a bunch of eyes and stuff wrapped with ropes and such. Towards the end of the rest, Oldemar finishes his chanting. And Katralgrim, Draji, Edgark, and Dante, you all get 1 instance of foresight. It's essentially inspiration. You get 1 d20 to be rolled in place of another d20 at your pleasure, and I need you all to roll those now.
Alright.
Oh,
Cool. Now, like for the next long rest, or what?
Yeah, you're not exactly sure, but you think at least until the next long rest.
Ooh.
Okay.
alright,
Someone's not gonna have fun.
Okay, now write those numbers down, and you can use those numbers to replace an attack against you, an attack against someone else, a save, or a check.
When you attack, when someone else attacks you, someone
A save or a check, yeah.
or a saver.
It has to do with you, specifically.
No, okay.
So, like, Katralgrim, you could use that one to replace an enemy's attack against you.
Or I could be an idiot and remember right at the end of the day that I need to use this, and just like it's my turn, and
Impose
I'm
it
like,
on
okay,
yourself.
I have a minus, I have a 1 to it.
Yeah.
Is the
Oldemar
sledge
Oldemar
here-
seems somewhat diminished, and he's breathing a little heavy at the end. It says, "The die have been cast. Fate has something in store for each of you this day."
Especially you, as he stares at the Jargonborn monk.
Hey, Austin,
Yeah,
is this ledge here only like 10 feet?
yeah, it's
Down?
10 feet. You would be
Okay.
taking damage if you dropped it.
I'm just gonna like hop down right next to
It's because you're not a monk.
Oriel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any kind of ability that reduces spell damage?
No.
Okay. Do you want to do an acrobatics check?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew it.
Okay.
He's the new Kutrogrim. He just jumps down the stairs.
Yep.
Yep. You
He's not
Well,
as,
you
he's not
gotta
as
understand.
brash
I
as
was
am.
just forgotten.
Yeah,
I
you feel that
cannot
if you
have
weren't, you feel that if you weren't as poised or as coiled as you were just now, you would have taken a little damage from that. It's a bit of a fall.
What
But
is
Oriel
the-
says, "Oh, hi. I think we've already been introduced, though." It goes back to Dante.
Wait, what's the name of the old mage that did the power of inspiration again?
Oldemar.
Can you spell it?
Here, I'll actually show his name.
At the end of the long rest, I think Dante finishes identifying the staff.
Checking out the staff. Eyeing it real good.
Yeah, I guess identify is not
Yes.
the right word.
So, you can call it what you want, but for now, I will call it the Staff of Eyebite. Once a day, you can cast the spell Eyebite as a bonus action, and sustain it as a bonus action.
Alright.
I'll copy paste the spell for you. It also grants a +1 to spell attacks.
Cool.
But not to damage.
Correct.
Nice.
Now, don't spend that +1 all in one place.
So you get a bunch of different choices when you cast Eyebite. It's basically a sort of CC that you can use to mess up a whole group of enemies. I will say though, Dante, this staff looks rather insidious, and most people, pun not intended, would definitely blink at its existence. So it's up to you whether you want to have this thing out in the open to be used at a moment's notice, or whether you want to
Okay.
save it.
So does what you mean by that is that it might not necessarily be welcome in public circles?
Correct. It is definitely an insidious-looking staff.
All right. So Dante will kind of put it back in his pack and pull out Shade Spark, but he'll keep it with him.
All right. All right. What are you guys doing?
We're gonna pack up and move out.
Okay. Anybody want to spend hit dice or anything? You guys got it all?
I've already spent my hit dice.
Okay. We'll say, Adamir, you just have a bit of your hempen rope, and you just kind of like lassoed the giant eye around your torso,
Okay, yeah.
which is rather gruesome looking, but it does work.
All right, let us proceed.
And I'm gonna say, is there any chance we could stop back by that black market on the way out? I'm just gonna kind of gesture to the beholder bits.
There's a black market?
Yeah,
Oh,
right?
yeah. You know, I really need some troll gelatin. That's like top priority right now, aside from like the world ending.
Well, maybe if you stuck with me, I could try and get you a better deal on it. I'm usually fairly persuasive.
Ooh, proving his use already. Dante, who is this man?
He's just overselling himself.
Okay. Bane walks over to the corpse of Nestor Polonius, takes out the mace, kind of raises it skyward. A bit of silvery light fills the cavern, a little bit blinding to those looking directly at it. And says, "May your disturbed soul rest in peace, traitor of the faith. lowers it to the corpse and just barely touches Nestor's chest, and it turns to ash and blows away in the wind.
Where?
It's not
Judgy
getting
has-
a dead spell.
Judge has PTSD from Arthur.
We would not wish his visage to be resurrected in the name of a dark god. My word is enough. Let us proceed.
Seems reasonable. Dante will get up and motion for the party to move out, and we'll go ahead and pack up and just kind of.
He just speaks in soldier all of a sudden. And hands.
Alright. So, how are you guys exiting? Are you going back the way you came? Are you going a different direction? What are you doing? Are you
Yeah,
going to explore anymore?
Dante's plan is to not explore anything. We're just going to move back the way we came. We're going to march. We need to move relatively quickly. We'll move at a brisk march, I think.
The way that
was
it came
this-
seemed to be the short.
Was this a hallway or a dead down here? I passed by it.
That's-
My character
that's
passed
a
by
door.
it a couple of times.
That is a door.
I
That's a
wouldn't,
door.
I wouldn't use
This
that
is not a door? This is a door?
That's a
That
door
is
as
a
well.
door.
That's the portcullis the undead came from.
Indeed, it is the undead that I punched to death. to re-death after undeath, after dying.
You re-killed them.
Yeah, Joshi
Exactly.
is of similar mind to Dante. We need to get out of here as quickly as possible.
Right. So, Dante will suggest that we just move out here since we have the door open already, and carefully move our way. Like take 20
Actually,
to just carefully move our way across the rune floors.
Joshi is gonna stop him and wonder if it would be better to go down south, just because we have right here are the poison mines. I don't want people to go through that. Yeah, and from looking, if we go this way, we might be able to go this.
I thought we were able to move over those if we were being careful enough.
Yeah.
Edric
Once
will
we know
agree with
they're
that
there, we
sentiment,
just have to, yeah.
and then he will also point out, I would rather take the evil that I do know over the one that I don't. We don't know for sure that would be a shorter route, but we do know this route, which means that we could travel it quicker.
Alright,
Yeah, Dante would agree with that reasoning.
she'll go with the group then.
Dante will notice our new absence of a meat shield, and he will ask for Bane to lead up the front.
Michio.
It will be my pleasure. He kind of adjusts his mace, and he's not really trying to stomp, but his boots make humongous sounds as he tramps across the stone floor of the cavern.
That's a paladin, alright.
Hey, what are you trying to say?
Ooh, that is a
Wait, he's not a paladin of
paladin
Pillar.
right there.
He's a paladin of Bahamut.
Oh, that's right.
He is the Platinum Protector.
Edric's gonna do all that he can to stick close to Ina, in particular.
And then, instead of moving our token,
So I'm gonna go ahead and streamline the process here. You guys make your way back through the cube with the gelatinous cubes. The cavern with the gelatinous cubes. You pass over.
Cubes with the gelatinous cavern.
Yeah. You pass over the arcane runes, being careful. Bane says, I assume you all know that these are dangerous. And proceeds to kind of weirdly, like, he doesn't seem that dexterous, but he walks between the ruins with, like, the skill of, like, an artful dancer despite his massive armor.
So essentially the defense of a paladin, but the grace of a monk. Gotcha.
So is it really okay to leave the tree behind? You don't want the summoning circle to get locked up again, do we? And Oldemar is like, the tree of Sigisthun should be able to protect itself now. It is a mythal with various protection magics that should turn away all but the staunchest of monsters. I would not worry for its harm at all until we encounter more traitors in our midst. I suspect the only reason was able to be corrupted in the first place is that one of the chosen protectors were corrupted. Bane looks back, he's like, yes. Nestor betrayed us all. Alright, so you guys all make your way. I'll just say everybody's down here now. And you'll note that on your way through, the undead and the abnormalities, like the Grelks over here, are now burning with a kind of golden light.
Being purified.
So everybody's down there now. And you actually notice... Everybody wants to move their tokens down there. You actually notice more corpses than there were before.
So the tree's starting to purify the area. Pretty cool.
Yeah, so there was
Seems
like
we
there,
didn't.
there was 2 more of these things, and they're both dead. They're just like collapsed on the ground, writhing on fire.
It seems we didn't clear them out like we thought we did. And then he gets flashbacks of seeing eyes on the walls, and he just looks around very paranoid-like.
So we'll probably, if it's okay with you, DM, we could probably just fast forward until either the next encounter or until we get back to the.
And so with that, you guys all began marching down the western hall. Slowly at first, but slowly working up more and more speed. The number of you people is what's kind of slowing you down, but
Feels like high school all over again.
you all make your way through, back up the stairs, past all of the traps that have mostly all been sprung. Arthur leading the way, shows you guys all the tripwire that you guys avoided.
Arthur.
Excuse me. Bane.
Bane.
I'm feeling bad now too.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna copy paste everybody over. You guys enter into the Gate of Angels.
And I encounter myself.
You do. I need to delete you.
We all encountered our...
Dun 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 dun. Okay.
A wild snow.
Yeah, so you enter into the main chamber. The lights of the various mages and wizards in your company flit about the cavern. Oh yes. The antechamber of Our Lady, Oldemar says. I always enjoy looking at the pictographs and history portrayed therein. You know, this is one of the only illustrations of the Great War we have. You kind of walk up there, and we actually get a description here. Alright, so you actually have oh, dude, I have a room description. That's really rare. Yeah, so unfolding before you is a really, great battle. Spanning the leftmost murals are knights and heroes and powerful casters, men of the wild, all different races, doing battle with a snarling horde of monsters. The monsters are composed of all manner, horrible beasts. A lot of them you don't recognize. You see 3-headed dogs, lions, bat-like wings, and scorpion tails. Centaurs, giant horned bears, larger-than-life birds that are frozen in the act of picking up a horse.
What?
Giant lizard creatures with winding heads, too numerous to count. And above it all is a bluish silhouette of a giant winged creature. It radiates malice, and storm clouds surround it. It looks like a dragon, surveying the battle on the monster's side of the mural upon a sheer cliff, kind of overlooking the conflict. It's a massive creature that none of you really have seen or heard about before. It resembles a bear or a lion, but it's leaner. Its neck is longer, and its head is adorned with 3 sets of horns. It has fur in some places, around its neck, and along its spine, kind of like a mane. And its tail ends in a lightning-shaped bar. And from its mouth is flickers of flames. And its eyes are weirdly intelligent. And on the opposite side of the mural standing atop the lower walls of a hilled city, are the founding figures of Leandra, which all of you who are native-born proficient in history recognize. Leandra herself, her sister Otria, and the first hegemon, husband of Otria, Cain Segis the First. There's other panels if you guys want to investigate, but this panel basically shows a massive conflict that is spoken of in legend, essentially the fight for the Leonic Empire.
It's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to go to bed soon here, guys. I have to sleep earlier because of my leg.
That's fine. We can end whenever, dude.
Alright. Is it okay with everybody if we leave off here?
Yeah, it's fine.
But a great mystery has just happened upon us.
That's a good cliffhanger. I mean, Dante can just be a silent shadow in a corner if y'all want to investigate it.
When is he not a silent shadow in the corner?
Exactly.
Oh, that's right, when he's throwing fireballs in buildings.
That's right. Throwing fireballs at buildings.
While in the buildings.
At buildings, in buildings, through buildings,
Over
across buildings, under buildings, around buildings.
It's been so long since I've played Winter Falls. I really want to enjoy this. I want to keep going.
Yeah, y'all can. I don't mind. I just need to. I need to go to bed.
Okay, well, would you like to finish off the mural room? There's not a whole lot more, Donnie.
That's fine. We can do that.
Okay, and then you can decide whether you want to continue on or if everybody else wants to continue on at least a little bit after.
All right, that'll work.
Okay, so anybody want to respond to that initial mural? And there's another one over here. And by the way, to anybody who forgot, the giant statue of Leandra, it's winged. It almost resembles like an angel or something, kind of this ethereal figure. It doesn't seem altogether accurate, but it's obviously been built up for some reason.
I turn to, hang on, I'm bad with new names. I turn to Oriel and I ask her, do you know if Leandra was, of any sort of celestial descent?
You turn to Ina?
No, Oriel.
Oh, Oriel. Well, it was always a subject of some debate, but the general thought is that her sacrifices kind of elevated her above the rest of the mass. Some say the gods themselves acknowledged her, brought them into their courts. Which god in particular, we don't know precisely, but one thing for sure is known, she was pretty cool.
Did you ever get to meet her?
Nah, I'm not that old, darling.
I love that response.
My
I'm not that
apologies.
old, darling.
She's gonna point at the blue dragon in the portrait and be like, you don't suppose that's supposed to be Tiamat, do you?
In most of her, incarnations, not that I've seen any of them, mind you, usually different colors. Blue,
At the
probably a
mention of the
specific
lady-
dragon.
At the mention of Tiamat, Katrogrim moves a little bit closer to get an eye of the dragon, of the dragon itself, to see if it's a form of which Akraza would have known the Lady Tiamat.
Yeah. With your passive history, you don't recognize this, just the regular blue form as a form of Tiamat.
You mean my passive 11 history?
Oh, okay. Well, with your cultural knowledge then.
Okay, thank you.
Being from Akraza, there we go. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, you
but
don't-
There seems
you
to
don't-
be there seems to be a dragonborn missing from our party.
Wait. Yeah, where did Edgar go? Edgar, where are you at?
Alright, DM.
One sec, I'll go get him.
I was, okay. I was actually writing a message just now to see if it was intentional or not.
Ah, what happened?
You rotated someone. There he is.
There we go.
Aha!
Yeah, by cultural knowledge, I just know that it's kind of just a regular blue dragon. Probably one of note, but just not Tam.
So this is a portrait of the First War.
Yeah, so Edgark walks over. I assume you have some kind of light, Edgark.
He is the light. I'm just kidding.
Not on me, but I can have one.
I can give you one.
There's also this being a thing, but Edgark really wants to do something. So he will. Actually, I do have a light, right?
Hang on, I have one.
No, wait.
Light and
I
light.
snap my fingers, and from my racial ability, I have a light, and I can put it on the thing.
Oh!
Don't worry, Edgark, I'm getting really close.
Where would you like this light? On your staff?
Sure.
Alright. She touches the tip of the staff.
Well, actually, Edgark doesn't have a staff. He actually has an orb. But
Anyway.
we'll do
It's
the
an
orb.
orb of
You
light.
just hold up. Although it'd be kind of, now that I think about it, it might be a little bit treacherous to hold up his presumably glass-like orb continually. He's got a claw. He'll be fine.
By the way, guys, I apologize for any misunderstanding, but that panel I was describing earlier actually spans this whole wall plus this over here.
Oh.
Well, that's
Yeah.
quite a ways.
It kind of goes all the way across the it's a massive image.
Is this another massive image?
Does that mean this one's also a massive?
Yes, it is. It goes for a while. All right, so in this panel, you see the fight kind of coming to a head. The founder of Leandra and the evil lion-like creature standing upon a mountain of corpses of like the people and creatures that died to service the war. In between the two mountains, a ravine is formed, and there is a small little tree kind of budding down at the very bottom in the ravine. And it's almost like a comic strip. Like there's different panels, and it's just like cuts of the same thing. And the tree slowly grows to a sapling, and then grows larger and larger. The hegemon, in each image, the hegemon and the creature grow closer and closer and meet in the middle, with the foundling sword that glints like gold. It's like this, looks like almost like a long sword of some kind, and it has all kinds of different runes and stuff upon it. Draja, you know this to be the Founder's Sword, which has been lost to the ages, but was notoriously wielded by the first 7 hegemons. The next pane is shown that the sword is stabbing through the creature's chest. The hegemon is not but an ashen husk between the creature's flaming jaws. The creature falls back onto the sapling, impaling itself in the new branches. And the next panel is showing the remainder of the Empire carrying the tree, creature and all, to the city on the hill in the distance. Leandra is shown laying with the tree in a grove, barely touched by the sun. The final panel is the tree stretching the limits of its underground grove, and a group of robed figures surrounding it.
So they had moved the tree down below. Down here?
Yeah.
Why would they move it?
Well, it was shown to be in an underground grove in the panel, but it was moved from a battlefield of some kind. You're not exactly sure why, if it had some kind of power from impaling the monster or what. There are many names for the monster that headed the legions of bestial fiends in the Great War at the founding of the Leonic Empire, but most refer to it as the Witch Beast. A terrible combination of every monster under the sun. It commanded every other fiend's respect, for it was a creation of the beginning of time, one of a kind to our knowledge. Its power was said to rival that of a demigod. And perched high above the blue dragon, Desterfax, which we do have a name for, was said to vanish after the final battle. For all we know, he's still out in the desert somewhere, tending its wounds. I believe your family had a hand in his downfall, Draji.
Her armored head will sort of glance at him. Would she remember this history? Because she would have had very extensive...
Yeah, you remember that your family has slain probably 2 or 3 dragons in history. And you recall a blue dragon, but the name was kind of lost to history. But it was supposedly the strongest threat that the Dawnfield family ever faced.
And he called it Garistrax?
I will copy-paste it for you.
Thank you. Gestrafax. I was close.
Yeah, you got the general sound. And that's where the panel ends. This tree, soaked with the creature's blood being buried deep underground, and robed figures surrounding it, imbuing it with more arcane energy.
Fascinating. So,
Could it
Now we
possibly
know.
be that this tree could easily defeat any sort of evil fiend that would threaten someone?
we just have to convince them to impale themselves upon it.
Or we could easily make maybe a weapon out of its branches.
It is a
I
powerful
imagine-
mythful. A magic from ancient times that exceeds all magic that we could possibly replicate today. Its powers are unknowable, but our understanding is that it has powerful protections and repelling powers that reject monsters of all shapes and sizes. It's one of the reasons Leandra has stood so strong over the years. With the tree's power, we were able to retake the Lake Empire, and with it, where we live today.
If it's so powerful, then why was the beholder able to actually tarnish?
Well, as Bane and I were considering, we think it likely that Nestor Polonius, being one of the sworn protectors of the myth, came down prior and corrupted it, allowing for the various hideous monsters to take root in the city.
So they needed an inside man to begin the process. That makes sense.
And what sort of thing could they have offered Nestor to actually make him want to betray the
I mean, it is a beholder. I would imagine there wasn't anything offered to him. He was likely compelled to it.
bewitched to lick the charm spells?
Charming
that's-
in.
But that's an awfully long charming spell if you like he's been in the city functioning as like a regular citizen there. Obviously playing the role as the head cleric of
A terrifying prospect, but I imagine a beholder could definitely pull that off.
That or he was otherwise coerced into doing the beholder's will. He may have been promised great fortune or some such. It is my experience that evil people do things for evil reasons.
It's just hard for me to believe that someone who was held up so highly could fall down so.
This enigma may or may not have an answer. One thing is for certain. He made his choice. And Bane kind of turns away from the panel. Kind of walks over to the statue.
I just hate to think that it was made for him. And their Jark will follow.
Alright. Anything else you guys would like to do? Perhaps investigate the panels, or would you like to continue?
And Dante is about ready to keep moving.
All right.
Yeah, let's keep much forward.
Yeah, we're still on a time limit, guys.
Yeah. Austin, I would like to ask. I'm probably not going to make any action on it, but I would like to ask. So, what do you... Let's see if I can do it. Nope, that isn't what I meant to do. Anyways, when you were describing where the panels stretched to earlier, Do they stretch the entire walls here? Like, have we seen all that there is to see on the walls?
Yes, it spanned from left to right on both sides, and that's it.
And we saw all of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I wasn't sure about the part along the bottom. But okay. Yep, Edgearch would be ready to move along as well.
Yeah, actually, the parts on the bottom were signed with various names written in different languages.
Kind of like the Declaration of Independence.
Kind of, actually.
And since Edgearch started on this side, he'll probably try to at least skim over some names as he walks past, just see if anything stands out to him.
Yeah, you wouldn't happen to have Keymind, would you, Edgearch?
I don't think.
But Dante does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Dante didn't see what Edgearch saw. Edgearch, I want you to do an intelligence check for me.
Now, I don't have keen mind, but I do have researcher, and it's not exactly the same kind of thing, but I'm wondering if it...
Okay, does it have to do with any of your memory? Like,
When you attempt to
recalling things you've seen?
when you attempt to learn or recall a piece of lore, if you do not know that information, you often know where and from whom you can obtain it. So basically, if you don't know it yourself, you know who does know. But anyways, which check? I'm sorry.
Just an intelligence check for me, please. Yeah. So you skim the names on your guys' way out, and you find that these names that are written in a tongue you can understand, some of them seem rather familiar. And you think back to where you could have seen them, and you find that several of these names coincide with the names written on the cobblestone wall outside Cardinal Keep in the gardens. Many of these names are founders.
Edgearch will tuck this bit of knowledge away, probably to tell Dante later. You know what? Actually, no. As we exit the room, he'd probably walk up next to Dante and just kind of mention this fact, just in case Dante finds it interesting. You know, a lot of those names that I saw signed along the south wall. Actually, I don't know the cardinal direction. Along the exiting wall were also names that I saw signed on the walls around Cardinal Keep. Meaning they were founders.
Seems to make sense.
Indeed.
Certainly gives us an idea of how old Cardinal Keep is.
Yeah, that is an interesting point. Alright, I think we're ready to move on.
Alright, so you'll kind of, turn around as you leave and just kind of bid Leandra goodbye and make your way down the southernmost corner.
Austin, I think your mic died.
Oh, did it?
There you go.
Okay, cool.
We were moving down the southern corridor.
Yeah, you are moving down the southern corridor now.
Alright.
Okay, you guys pass onto the eyed gate with the corpses, the desiccated corpses of the gargoyle and spectator still lying about. I do not recall this venture being quite so precarious. Bane kind of leans over the edge. I wonder what horrible fiends lurk far below.
Draji immediately gets another bout of PTSD and grabs him by the crook of the arm, and it's like, I don't advise you leaning too. A very big, whatever it is, big fish that can eat other big things is swimming down there.
Yeah, Katrina realizes her reaction and just smirks a bit, remembering whenever he managed to help her not fall into that deep, dark pit.
Yes.
Edgearch will say, what she means to say is, there were scary enough things down there to eat the scary things that we tried to fight up here. Bigger fish and all of that. He'll kind of turn to Dante and give him a look.
Dante will return the look.
Bigger fish.
So, if it is still down there, that means it is a beast that is immune to the powers of the tree.
Let's hope that's not the case. Best case scenario and all.
It may not necessarily be evil. It's possible that it's just a large neutral creature of some kind.
Sometimes evil and hungry give one the same kinds of inclination.
Indeed. At some point we may have to incite an investigation down into these tunnels to ensure the tree's safety. But until then, we have things to do. Alright, the rest of you guys pass through and eventually climb the lofty stairs that bring you close through the sewers, past the burned, charred corpse of the Nothic, through the remains of the thunder-blasted rats, past the stairs, up, and your turnoff for the black market is now available should you guys choose to take it. You're nearing the stairs to the tavern.
We take the stairs to the tavern.
Okay. I'm trying to remember what the name... It was like the Wretched, Was it the Wretched Catch because it's kind of located near water?
I think that sounds familiar.
Sounds familiar, yeah.
Wretched something, at least.
Does Adamir want to branch off from the group?
Yes. Oh,
Alright.
yeah, I definitely want to go. I don't know if y'all are coming with, but...
No,
Well, we have a more important matter to attend to.
Alright.
Does Adamir still have the big eye?
Yeah.
I think we're gonna want to hold on to that for a little. Dante will kind of motion over at Adamir and say, I think we want to hold on to that for a little bit. It may help to explain what's been going on down there.
And
We can sell it later.
You sure it won't spoil?
I think that this kind of thing will sell regardless of whether it's spoiled.
Let me double check that. Let me inquire. Plus, and I can't remember. Oh, oil something.
I mean, we can probably pay to have it pickled or something.
I need troll gelatin.
I was gonna say she needed something as well.
Yeah, for reasons.
Yeah, at the very least, let's grab her troll jelly and
Troll fat.
yeah, and I will inquire about preserving my eye and things like that, and then we can be on our way. If y'all want to go ahead and go, if you guys want to go ahead, that's fine.
Dante will look at Ariel and ask if she'll be okay with Adamir, and
You should be asking him if he'll be okay with me. But yeah, we'll be fine.
Dante will nod.
And Dante. She takes the orb out from her cloak. I think he forgot something.
Dante will grab it. Thank you.
Don't lose this. My understanding is that you can, there's various places around the country still have yet to be bound to it. But if Sehanin is as powerful as we think she is, which, you know, she's a god, she'll be pretty useful for getting around, especially this day and age. We'll see you later. Don't get into trouble, Oldemar. She kind of, as her and Adamir kind of run off down the stairs to the black market.
So now we have the Wayfarer Stone?
Yep.
Yes, you
There's
do.
the Wayfarer Stone.
Whoa.
Let's see, I'll just tell her, or ask her, so do you know where you're going in here? Because I'm not too familiar with it. I'll let you lead the way.
The black market. I mean, it's not that complicated.
Okay. Yeah, take me where you want to go.
Okay, so she leads you down there to the cavern. The rest of you are continuing, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
And I might go ahead and... Yeah, it's getting really late. I really need
Did
it.
Adamir leave you guys the Beholder Eye real fast, just so we clarify this before we end?
No.
Okay, so he kept it.
Yep.
Okay, the rest of you go to the tavern. Oriel and Adamir are going to the black market, and that's where we'll end for this evening.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for playing. We got a lot of good role playing done. Let's go ahead and do MVP and some other things, and we'll wrap up.
First, let's give experience so we know how much MVP is.
Yep. 1 second. This is mostly role playing, but it is a milestone.
Even Jack gives out very generous amounts of XP for roleplay.
No pressure.
I want to be level 10.
Yeah, it's not going to be a whole lot, but you guys have a lot of XP coming your way in the near future, right? But yeah, so everybody's going to be getting 300 XP.
Okay.
Yay.
Alright.
Okay. And MVP is always a third of that, so a third. Alright, so we got some cool moments. Mostly role playing, but I felt like Dante had some meaningful role play with the Wizards. Edgearch had some good role playing with Ina and other people.
Plus, Edgearch was able to try and identify the. Oh wait,
Yeah.
no, he didn't identify the.
He
stuff after all.
identified the amulets. And Arthur's
Yes.
send-off was pretty emotional.
I didn't. Wait, the amulets got identified? I didn't.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
he
did that.
identified those first, and then he tried to do the staff, but the staff
Oh,
retaliated.
okay. Well, I must have been zoned out.
Because the staff chooses the wizard, Mr. Potter.
Yes.
I would not be opposed splitting it. Splitting the pot, which isn't a lot, but yeah. What do you guys think?
I mean, y'all do want my beholder eye, which was my idea.
I did float through the group and sort of restored everybody. I even prayed to Bahamut and got a
Yeah,
third
you
level
did
spell.
heal a bunch of people.
Mr. Adamir hasn't realized that Dante deems everything that Adamir collects as winter contingency, like, property.
Yeah.
Well, I have my boat ready.
Okay. You guys ready to go?
We can vote for multiple people?
Yeah, you can. 1 to 2, and it'll be split if they're tied. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Cool. I'm saying Draji, man.
Draji, yeah. Blue
Oh,
Dragon.
and Blue Dragon!
Guys,
If we level that thing up to a
guys,
a
you don't
ancient, then
you don't want to level up the blue dragon, okay?
Oh, but
You don't want that.
wait, is there a
Trust
blue
me.
dragon in
There's-
this as well?
Yes!
If you
Oh,
were
the
paying
blue dragon in the
attention
new
earlier to the
No,
lore, you would have
the
noticed there's a blue dragon here as well. Yeah.
Okay.
who knows? It might actually be the same blue dragon.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Because
Then
it
only
kept
we
getting
realized that
MVP, so it became ancient, but it's still only like a year old, so it had to go to a different campaign.
Suddenly we realized that the Greca Islands are actually set in the Moran universe.
Yes.
How much
Alright, yep.
XP did I
So
get?
it all goes to you, so that's 100 XP. You get a third of the pot. Very cool.
Alright, good night, guys.
Sex-
Plan.
That's it again.
Bye,
Alright, Donnie, thank you so
Donnie.
much for playing.
Donnie.
I'm so ready for next Friday session. I want to beat some faces in. Oh wait, does this mean the Gnomish Underground has been disbanded now that the tree is working again?
Yeah. Now, little did you know that Oriel is the head of the Gnomish Underground.
A little.